Okay. Escape. Uh, Share screen. Desktop. Can you see my desktop?
Yes.
Yes, we.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. So, play from the start. Gentlemen, this is the new world. Something that we in our lifetime had never thought of, imagined, the wildest of the imagination, that one day will come when the whole globe will be frozen like it has never been done before. I mean, generations, irrespective of caste, creed, age, nationality, geographical location, everything is just frozen. Oh, and it's unimaginable. It was simply, it could have been a fiction novelty, but this has been most unimaginably, most of the craziest of the fiction thought that there will be a day when whole world will stop. Well, it has, unfortunately. And now it has impacted us live in so many ways. I don't want to really, I mean, we are all experiencing it. Interesting thing is, this is a unique challenge in the human civilization, and we are all experiencing it together. People of all generations and all. So younger children are also experiencing, and the youth is also experiencing, even the older generation is also experiencing something new. And it has impacted our lives in many ways. But right now, today, we can have something broader session sometime. But today, I'm just going to share some thoughts in terms of how is it going to impact the retail industry. So if you look at it, the few things have happened very, very apparently and quickly. Uh, so something has gone up. Grocery has gone up in the business. The consumer business is going up. And there are some things which are going down, and we don't even know how long would it be before it comes back to the old normal, or will it ever come back to the old normal. So restaurants are easy. This, I think, people will regain. But apparel business, the brands and brand loyalties and, the cosmetics, will it be the same level of intensity of expenditure? You see, two things have happened. A, the humanity and the world, mostly in the Western side, have been dependent on consumer financing. So anybody who earns a salary, before he can save, he acquires the asset. So the house is there, the car is there. So consumer financing has been a way of life. And that has what led to lot of expenses in different industry, and expenditure growth was supposed to stimulate the economy to increase the GDP. Now, with this shock, the things that one can foresee is there will not be ability to repay the loans. So whether one would be still comfortable living on loan or not, that is to be seen. And most probably, people would like to now rethink their living styles. People will not necessarily go for spending all that in branded uh, cars and branded machinery and all. These days have taught us how to be living with the basics. So somebody has put in, okay, what do I do with my clothes? I'm only, happily 2, 3 things that I keep on changing and changing, but there's not much to do. And you look at the wardrobe, they are full, they're bursting. So this is something that's going to impact the apparel industry. And so the consumer, there's one more industry which has gone up very, very rapidly. And I was just looking at, watching the BBC yesterday, and the Zoom, for instance, the media in which we are talking, maybe 1 month ago, 90% of us were not aware that it existed. And its total consumer list was 10 million people. And yesterday, within 4 weeks, it has gone to 300 million people. To look at the magnitude of growth that is coming out of this. So that is one thing we have to understand, that this, all is not lost. A lot of old things will go and a lot of new things will come. Now, if we come to look into what are the things things that are going to happen new in the new thing, what will be some of the important factors. There's going to be for the retail industry, these are the new norms post-COVID. There's going to be higher price sensitivity. So consumers were comfortable in selling things. The manufacturer will sell at a certain thing, then there will be a margin for the intermediary and the delivery and everything, and the retailers will put a top substantive amount, and they will be everybody making money at the cost of people. But that is not going to happen now, and price sensitivity is going to be very important. So people will be spending consciously. True thing. Other side is people's income is going to go down. So all of us in employment sector and all, we do not expect same level of bonuses. We do not expect same level of salary growth and everything. We now have to realize that under the new norm, these things will be curtailed. So higher price sensitivity is going to be a key factor in norm. Then brand apparels may decline. And this is what I said. Maybe at least, if not in the long run, in the foreseeable future. Now, what is the duration of COVID-19? Nobody knows. We thought that it will be 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We are still locked in and still deliberating. Will it be by June or will it go to September? So we have to now mentally reconcile that it's not like, okay, something happened and it finished and we go back to normal. So there is no going back to normal. New normals are there. So then there is another very important fact. Our operations, are going to be heavily relying on artificial intelligence. It's already there. Artificial intelligence was already there. And if somebody told me, I keep on saying that one of the blessings in disguise of Corona, one of the great blessings in disguise has been that it has accelerated the process of digitization. It has accelerated it so fast that then things that people that would have been using this technology few years down the road are using it today, and they have learned it. We have learned that it's okay to sit and work from home. We have learned that it is not necessary to call over 100 people to the restaurant to have an intellectual discussion and deliberation. And these are the cost-saving side of it. But the comfort and convenience is also there. So artificial intelligence is going to play a much bigger role in our operations. A lot of those processes where we were dependent on step 1, step 2, step 3, and there was human interaction involved for each of these steps to measure the impact, it's gone. And with the softwares, with linked to artificial intelligence, the big data, they will be telling us how to do, they will be telling us how to plan. So the human mind that was applied to analyze the data analytics and on a one-to-one basis, and then create way for the future, will be taken over by the artificial intelligence. So they will tell us what big data, globally, what's happening, where's the trend, and where are the opportunities. Consolidation is going to increase. Now, you see, there are multiple industries creating multiple things and they are distributing. But, when you see the distribution and other capabilities, so if you have got a greater distribution capability and technology support, you can do with this infrastructure, you can add more products to it. You don't have to have different distribution channels for different products. You don't have to have different delivery channels for different products. So consolidation is going to increase. Retailers will be having a greater collaboration with manufacturer. Now, what does this mean? Retailer with manufacturer is elimination of the intermediary, the wholesalers who used to bring the thing and put it in mandi, and so there were 3 classes: the manufacturer, the wholesaler, and the retailer. So wholesaling business is apparently going to reduce and it will go minimal. Why? Because retailer will have ability to contact the manufacturer directly, and that thing will be picked. So it reduces the cost of sales. It reduces the unnecessary expense, and that you will see can be easily passed on to the consumer. So we can get things cheaper because we have eliminated the intermediaries process, right? And then we talk about increase in customer value proposition. Retailers will survive if they have greater product value for money than others. So there will be competition between retailers, There will be competition between chain stores, even grocery stores, and customer will have ability to get better value out of their funds and out of their money. And these are very elementary thoughts. I'm just leaving it because you gentlemen and ladies will be deliberating. From the employee side, there are 4 things very important. One, safety of employees. Employee safety is going to be very important because in this situation, there will be uncertainty, there will be a law and order situation, and we don't want to get it a very nasty situation. But in the short term, employers have to make sure that they have the ability to create a sense of security in the employees. The other predominant thing is job security. And there I have some thought. I can speak an hour on that, but let me try and brief you on this. Job security is something very important. We have inherited a work culture from the colonial days. And that work culture basically was getting job for whole life. So it was something like you got an employment, now you retire at age 60 and you are comfortable. If you don't do something wrong, you will be there. In our culture, we used to call it pakki naukri, mostly the government and public sector. So once you get an appointment letter, it means now you will retire at 60. Now that thing has gone, it has been gone long time. And I have worked in many organizations where unfortunately we had to reduce that staff. There was job downsizing, etc. But now it has become very apparent that companies and organizations will not have the luxury of carrying on the employees who are not creating value, carrying on the employee on humanitarian grounds, although because this is an impact on their cost. And as I mentioned, cost sensitivity is very high now. So you cannot carry an employee who is not adding value. You may empathize with the person. So for employees, and I'm talking all of us working as employees, it's very important to understand what are the new competencies? How do I add value in a change environment? You ask yourself question, how can I add greater value in the change environment? And it will take you to my next point, which is retraining and capacity building. And I'm saying that retraining and capacity building is going to be not only employer's responsibility. So far, we also have a culture where we say, our employer is going to provide. Sir, yeah, there's nobody, the company doesn't take care of training. There are no trainings here. Company doesn't work to grow us. They're not developing us. And what I'm saying is that this is where employees have to take ownership proactively. You're responsible for your own life. You're responsible for your own career. You're responsible for providing sustenance to the family. So you now aggressively think and take ownership of your own career. And that will take us to retraining and capacity building. And then, of course, I'm talking, last thing is very important. And, if some of the retailers want to consult and all, changing compensation strategy. We had still working on classical compensation strategy where we are paid for the time, 9 to 5, 30 days, and this is the salary and this is that. My own feeling is going forward, this will go. There is not going to be a fixed hours related salary. It has to be linked to the value that we are creating. And that is something very, very important. I want you to remember, and as employers, what are the creative ways of keeping employee secure, motivated, and still productive, is still being able to produce and secure. So he doesn't become redundant. Employee should not become redundant. And that is only possible if employees take ownership of their training. There are new competencies, new requirements. And, we will say, okay, no, I have not been trained. This is not my job and all. From there, we have to come to a situation where we would like to learn and grow. And there is nothing rocket science, trust me. We all resign at a certain stage of our mind that, no, sorry, that I have not done it in my university and this is not my course. That is all crap. What you have read in university doesn't really, if you think, apply to your work today. If you think about your job and then you look at pick up the syllabus of your university, of your MBA and all, hardly anything really is applicable. So the key is that you have to keep learning from time to time. Now things change, dynamics change, and be ready for that. Coming to my last slide, which is thank you. And I think these are the few points that I wanted to make. The reason was that I think this is something that you're going to have a full day deliberation, and that is where I will be available for as long as I'm here, and I look forward to interact with you to the extent I can. And in the conference, I'll be here around, and it will be great to listen to the panels. The panels are coming, mashallah. Some brilliant panelists will be here, and we look forward to interact and learn from them. Thank you all so much. I hope you got some idea of my suggestions. I am done, sir. Hello.
Okay, sir. Thank you. You can stop sharing your screen. We can see your screen. सारी चीजें हमें आपकी नजर आ रही हैं.
नहीं, मुझे याद है, इसमें मुझे फिक्र नहीं है, लेकिन मैं ये देख रहा हूँ, how do I go back to my original screen? Yeah. I want to go back to the original screen. Anybody?
You just need to close your screen sharing.
On the top of your screen, you can see a green bar. उसके
Yes.
right पे options पे आप click करेंगे तो you can stop sharing.
ये ID वाला?
जी, green के साथ एक view options है, उस पे आप click करेंगे, उसमें option होगा stop sharing का.
ये थोड़ा सा इसके साथ थोड़ा लेफ्ट. ये व्यू ऑप्शन का नजर आ रहा है.
As a host आप भी stop sharing कर सकते हैं.
ओके, मैंने स्टॉप कर दी.
हाँ, ओके.
ओके, शानिया, ओवर टू यू. आपका माइक ऑफ है.
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Anybody, are we having any Q&A now or no?
Yes, we can have.
I'm available for a few minutes if anybody wants really, because it's relevant. It's right now hot from the discussion.
जी, इमरान नदीम साहब हैं, उन्होंने क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछना चाह रहे हैं. What is your question?
Come on, Imran.
इमरान साहब क्वेश्चन बताएं. आप क्वेश्चन चैट एरिया में टाइप कर दें या क्वेश्चन सेक्शन में टाइप कर दें. हम जफर साहब को आपका क्वेश्चन शेयर कर देते हैं.
Is there a question?
जी, I think he is typing a question.
Acha, okay. Shahdad had been listening very diligently. Your screen was on my, view. So any questions? Where are you from, Shahdad?
I'm from Dubai, and I've been a retailer for almost like 25 years.
Wow.
So retail and technology both run in my blood like red and white blood cells. So
Brilliant.
I honestly, really admire your presentation. It was just on the.
उनका क्वेश्चन है सर कि I just इमरान साहब का
I don't see Imran on the screen. I see.
नहीं sir, he typed his question. वो पूछना चाह रहे हैं. I just want to know that what will be the new objectives for the companies.
Two things. One is survival, and two is sustenance. You'll see the graphs. I mean, there's so much to say. I've seen graphs of three types of companies. One which are already strong and all, they will grow. The medium size will have to struggle, and the smaller one, unless they are very innovative and they come up with very creative solutions and way forward, they will be declining and they will actually go away. So it's a battle of survival, Rahil. This is a very unusual time. This means survival is going to be the key challenge. And it is one of the, again, rare moments that it will draw on human excellence. Human excellence was never so critically required for organizations and in the world as it is now. And historically, if you see, all the wins and everything has always been dependent on, even with the disruption and all the softwares and hardware that we talk about, And I keep telling it to people, my clients and customers, that you can bring in the best top quality hardware and the precision state of the art software, but you will not achieve competitive edge unless your people are able to leverage it, unless your people can really turn that thing that you have done into a highly value-based solutions and things. I can, all of us can have a plain art sheet and brush, but if you ask us to create something beautiful, we all will produce, but not all of them will be all that beautiful, right? And that is where there are two things. One is the gifted people, the other is when you acquire a skill. So if you attend some art classes and all, you will be able to do better and better and better. So this is, talking of, Mustafa, remember this and you should be repeating it. It is the era of survival of human excellence, based on human excellence. This is where you have to learn to draw the best out of a human being. And we are all sitting dormant. We hardly use X% of our mind, X% of our capability, and X% of our potential. So this is the time to, I mean, for those of you who understand Urdu, I would like to give you an example. And that example is when in Karachi Streets 1, there used to be Ganne Ka Raswala. Have you seen anybody? That guy who used to, you haven't seen it. So there was a sugar cane. Huh? Anybody? Hello, Shabazz.
Hello, Zafar Saab. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So you see that Ganne Ka Raswala with the sugar cane thing, and he will go and he will manually turn the wheel and put the thing through, so it will give you some juice. And then he goes and he double folds it, and then he turns it again, and then he double folds it again. So it really extracts the last drop out of it. And that gives me the thing of human excellence. You as leaders, you as business professional leaders, you as the human resource strategists, you have to work on things consciously, how you get the last drop out of it. Sounds very inhuman, sounds very this thing, but I'm saying do it intelligently. We want to keep the work-life balance in place. We want to keep the family values, family time in place, but then we also want to get the best out of human. So human excellence is the key to success. And that is what we have to recognize as part of our HR strategy. And that depends on your ability to intervene and to engage, motivate, and how do you create a happy organization. So any more questions?
Sir, thank you very much for your time and everything.
My pleasure. I'm here around, and please carry on with the panel discussion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. हम लोग शानाया को
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Now you can hear me? Oh, okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Zafar Usmani Saab. Now, I would like to welcome the first panel for the discussion on re-innovation and transformation of retail business models to accommodate COVID-19 crisis needs. And for that, we have our panelists with us, Rao Yaqub, who's the retail head at Al Fateh. And we have Mohammad Mushtaq, GM Supply Chain, Imtiaz Supermarket, Kashif Malik, Head of Sourcing and Quality Service Sales Corporation, Mohammad Salman Rao, GM Sales and Operation, Verda Designer Collection, and Mr. Jawad Salim, who is CFO Outfitters, and the moderator, Mr. Rahil Akhtar, who is the TV anchor. Over to you, Rahil.
Thank you so much, Shinaya, and once again, welcome all of you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. बहुत शुक्रिया HR Legends Forum का to take this initiative and invite all of us, especially when I have seen the guest list and the panelists जो हमने इसके लिए invite किए हैं. I think these people are the most relevant people, the topic that we are going to talk about. So मैं छोटी सी एक तमहीद ताकि जो हमारे panelists हैं उनसे जो हमारी audience इस वक्त, अच्छा हमने इससे पहले ये भी नहीं सोचा था कभी कि हम कोई ऑनलाइन सेमिनार करेंगे, कोई ऑनलाइन कॉन्फ्रेंस करेंगे और उस ऑनलाइन कॉन्फ्रेंस को 120 प्लस पीपल अटेंड कर रहे होंगे, जो कि इस वक्त कर रहे हैं. एक्चुअली ये हमने शायद आज से एक महीने पहले नहीं सोचा था कि ये पॉसिबल होगा, बट दिस इज हैपनिंग राइट नाउ. सो थिंग्स हैव ऑलरेडी चेंज्ड. मैं थोड़ा सा खाली एक तमहीद ये दूंगा ताकि हमारे जो पैनलिस्ट हैं उनसे हमारी जो ऑडियंस से फेमिलियर हो सके दैट हाउ दे आर रेलेवेंट टू दिस टॉपिक दैट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, व्हिच इज द री-इनोवेशन एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द रिटेल बिजनेस मॉडल्स हियर इन पाकिस्तान. मेरा ताल्लुक कॉर्पोरेट इंडस्ट्री से 10 साल का है. आई हैव स्टार्टेड वर्किंग इन द इंजीनियरिंग इंडस्ट्री एज कॉर्पोरेट सेल्स person, and after that corporate sales में ही career pursue किया, and still I'm working as a corporate sales manager recently joined with Viper Technologies, and some 4 or 5 years back, I switched my career from conventional products to the technological products. And पिछले 5 साल से I'm into the tech industry, and recently I've joined Viper Technologies. So alongside my media passion, my media की जो चीजें उसको साथ लेते हुए, also working with the corporate giants like Habit, Dollins, and उसके बाद recently एक Australian firm software house था, और recently I joined with the Viper Technologies. अच्छा जी, जो हमें इंट्रोडक्शन दिया शिनाया ने, हमारे साथ हमारे जो पैनलिस्ट हमें ज्वाइन किए हैं, राव याकूब साहब, ही इज अ रिटेल हेड ऑफ अल फतेह ग्रुप. अल फतेह ग्रुप से आई थिंक आई एम श्योर मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल हु आर फ्रॉम द इंडस्ट्री आर फेमिलियर विद. वी हैव मिस्टर मोहम्मद मुश्ताक, इनके साथ मेरी सबसे अच्छी एक जो रिलेशनशिप बन सकता है वो यूनिवर्सिटी का है. ही इज फ्रॉम द सेम यूनिवर्सिटी दैट आई हैव क्वालिफाइड इन 2010, ही इज इन 2007. मुश्ताक साहब उसके अलावा इस वक्त जीएम सप्लाई चेन है इम्तियाज स्टोर में. उसके अलावा he has been worked with Abu Daud Group, one of the finest distribution network in Pakistan. We have Mr. Kashif Malik, who is currently head of sourcing and quality at Service Sales Corporation. Before that, he's also worked with HKB, Metro Cash and Carry, and Indus Motors. He's a graduate from LUMS, Lahore. We have Mr. Salman Rauf, who is the GM sales of Warda Fabrics. उसके साथ साथ Levi's के साथ आपका एक्सपीरियंस रहा है, बिन दाऊद के साथ आप काम कर चुके हैं, टेस्को के साथ आप काम कर चुके हैं. We have Mr. Jawad Salim. Jawad Salim साहब is basically a financial expert. He's from a financial background. PwC के साथ काम start किया था, and after that working with different retail outlets, and जो उनकी last engagement थी with any retail was Outfitter, and currently he's working as the executive director. तो relevant एक मेरे पास guest list है. I'm really thankful with the to the HR Legends Forum for providing us this list. मैं सबसे पहले जो मेरे पांचों पैनलिस्ट हैं, मैं एक सवाल थ्रो करूंगा और मैं चाहूंगा पांचों पैनलिस्ट वन बाय वन आई विल कॉल देयर नेम्स एंड वो उसका रिस्पॉन्ड करें. जहां से जफर उस्मानी साहब ने बातचीत को छोड़ा, मैं वहीं से शुरू करता हूं. हम बात कर रहे हैं रिटेल बिजनेस मॉडल को रीइनोवेट और ट्रांसफॉर्म करने की. ऑब्वियसली वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मेकिंग इट अ डिजिटल, मेकिंग इट मोर ऑफ ऑनलाइन, एंड उसकी एक्सेस को हम ज्यादा लोगों तक पहुंचा सकें. मेरा सवाल यह है कि हैविंग योर एक्सपीरियंस इन रिटेल इंडस्ट्री, क्या आप ये समझते हैं कि इस वक्त हमारी जो मार्केट है, चाहे हम फ्रंट की बात करें, फ्रंट एंड की जहां पर हम रिटेल सेल्स की बात करते हैं, या हम बैक एंड की बात करें जहां पर ये रिटेल्स की तमाम प्रोडक्ट्स को एक्वायर किया जाता है, सोर्स किया जाता है, दोनों एंड से अगर हम देखें, आर वी रेडी टू ट्रांसफॉर्म आवर रिटेल मार्केट टू गो टुवर्ड्स द डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स और द ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म? मैं चाहूंगा पहले मुश्ताक साहब अगर इसका रिस्पॉन्स करें प्लीज. आई थिंक मुश्ताक साहब की ऑडियो कनेक्टेड नहीं है. माइक अगर आप अनम्यूट कर लें, आप लेफ्ट पे नीचे बॉटम पे आप देखेंगे अनम्यूट का ऑप्शन होगा सिस्टम में. नहीं मुश्ताक साहब, माइक आपका भी म्यूट है. लेफ्ट बॉटम पे आप देखेंगे माइक बना हुआ होगा, उस पे आप क्लिक करें.
Are you listening me now?
जी हाँ जी, प्लीज गो अहेड.
Okay. Acha, first of all, salam everyone. Thank you very much. I think it's a great topic to have, and we must debate concerning with the fact the post-coronavirus situation. So before start, let me give you some facts and figures in regards to retail. Overall, this virus impacted more than 51,000 companies worldwide, and more than 5 million businesses are directly or indirectly impacted because of this coronavirus situation. If we talk about worldwide, then out of 1,000 Fortune companies, 163 companies are going to be affected with this situation. And they really need to think a lot, and definitely they think for the survival. And as per Moody, globally, G20 countries collectively contribute 2.4% of, you may say, the GDP in the year 2020 after the pyramid of the coronavirus situation. And China, which contributes largest in the global world economy in G20, their GDP going to be split from 6% to 5.2%. So you can imagine the impact which Corona is going to be having on a global economy. And definitely Pakistan is also no more difference, and they're going to feel the pain. With respect to retailer, it all depends of the industry. Like, now I can divide retail into basic fundamentals. One is your essential things, which is grocery and the food items. And the second one is non-essential. I think the most heartling and the most challenging are non-essential items. Food and grocery maybe cover up in very short span of time, because these are very basic necessities people used to have. So if we talk about like as an industry, or talk about the overall retail perspective, so the food item sales are going to be picked up because it's a day-to-day need. So we will not get a major impact. So again, the sourcing is going to be continued. Like government of Pakistan is supporting us. Like you will be having a consistent supplies of the basic commodities. Furthermore, the companies who are in food production and the basic necessary things, their supplies are again consistent. We don't face any issue. But what about the non-essential, which is again going to be impacted, because government has shut down all the stores. You cannot you cannot sell. So the only ultimate survival comes with the
Excuse me,
non-essential.
मुश्ताक सर,
Yeah,
एक I just wanted to say something कि
yeah.
हमारे जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, वी हैव पीपल फ्रॉम डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड्स. सो अगर मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि हम लोग सब लोगों से, जितने भी हमारे पैनल मेंबर्स हैं और मॉडरेटर्स हैं, कि हम लोग जो अपनी कॉन्वर्सेशन है उसको बायलिंगुअल रख सकें, यानी कि उर्दू इंग्लिश दोनों हम लोग मिक्स रखें. उसमें फिर शायद हमारे जो अटेंडीज हैं उनके लिए थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा यूजफुल हो सके. सो दिस इज जस्ट अ रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल ऑफ यू. थैंक यू वेरी मच. सॉरी फॉर स्टॉपिंग यू, मुश्ताक साहब.
It's okay. It's okay. So while following the instruction, I believe that जो non-essential, I think that is going to be a major challenge for all of us. And this is the area where I believe that we as a team needs to think a lot and try to find out ways how can we survive this particular area of interest. So the complete value chain is right now just stopping. I'm just getting the numbers that more than million of people, 50 million people directly or indirectly associated with these kind of industry, which are directly related to your essential and non-essential items. So, and the 5 crore people, which is more than 20% of Pakistan population, is going to be affected if the situation prolongs on. So, what are the available strategies, I believe, where we can work upon? I believe e-commerce platform is again one of the biggest relief factor for us. But again, right now in Pakistan, only 10% of total sales of these retailers are coming from e-commerce. So as a company, we are also striving towards developing our e-commerce platform, try to sell things so that at least we should get a little bit brief out of it. So अगर आप बात करेंगे कि immediate basis के ऊपर क्या हम तैयार थे, I believe वो एक gap था. हमें इसके ऊपर बहुत पहले working करके अपनी तैयारी कर लेनी चाहिए थी. ठीक है, जो कि अभी हम on immediate basis के ऊपर कर रहे हैं. और I think that will create a hallmark for future as well, because अगर ये सिचुएशन नहीं भी होती तो लोगों के जो पैटर्न्स हैं, लाइफ पैटर्न्स है, जैसे जफर साहब ने बड़ी जबरदस्त बात की कि कोरोना वायरस जो है हमारे बिहेवियर, हमारे लिविंग स्टाइल, ठीक है, एंड द वे वी आर डूइंग एक्सपेंडिचर, उसको बिल्कुल टर्न अराउंड करने जा रहा है, बिल्कुल चेंज करने जा रहा है. ठीक है, और लोगों ने एक चीज फील किया है कि ये एक ऐसी चीज कि जिसके अगर लेट्स से कि वो पहले से तैयार होते और ई कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म पाकिस्तान में उस हद तक मैच्योर हो चुका होता, तो शायद हम उतने बड़े डिजास्टर में नहीं आते जिस डिजास्टर में अभी हम आने जाने जा रहे हैं. तो आई थिंक ई कॉमर्स इज वन ऑफ द प्लेटफॉर्म. और ई कॉमर्स के अंदर भी दुनिया में बहुत ज्यादा चेंजेस आई हैं. लोगों ने बेसिक कॉमर्स से शुरू किया था, इवेंचुअली दे कन्वर्टेड इनटू ई कॉमर्स. नाउ पीपल आर थिंकिंग अबाउट क्यू कॉमर्स, which is again delivered within 2-3 hours. So I think that would be the ultimate model we really think about it. Or government support again is very very important in entire situation, because government is not considering right now retail in that area.
कि सपोर्ट की
Yeah.
हमें कहाँ पे जरूरत पड़ती है. मैं बाकी पैनल्स को भी एंगेज करना चाहूँ. काशिफ मलिक साहब हमारे साथ हैं. काशिफ साहब, having an experience of the big retail outlets like Metro Cash and Carry, और उसके अलावा different products में आपने डील किया like Indus Motors which is dealing in automobile. सेम सवाल आपसे भी है कि जो आपका एक्सपीरियंस है इस वक्त और पीछे का, आप समझते हैं कि जो हमारी रिटेल इंडस्ट्री है, जो सेलर्स हैं वो भी, जो कस्टमर्स हैं वो भी, और जो जहाँ से सोर्सिंग हो रही है वो भी, आर दे रेडी फॉर दिस डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन?
थैंक यू रहीम. मेरा ख्याल है, बिकॉज फ्रॉम माय एक्सपीरियंस with the retailers which I work for in the Pakistan, like Metro Cash and Carry, and recently with Service Sales Corporation, मेरा ख्याल है कि it is very challenging. आपका जो क्वेश्चन है उसके आपने you asked for the readiness with respect to the digitization of the retail on the front end, and on the back end आप उसकी sourcing की आप readiness की बात कर रहे हैं. So On the front end side, what I would like to share is कि देखें जो इस वक्त जो आफ्टर कोविड-19 के बाद जो the only solution available to the retailers is to get online sales. Unfortunately, जब तक ये नहीं हुआ तब उस वक्त तक हमारी जो retailers हैं they were not fully prepared and geared up to go online. Online जो हमारी sales हैं like just shared by my colleague कि it was only 10% of their total turnover. अभी तक पाकिस्तान में जो ऑनलाइन सेल्स है ना उसको यूज किया जा रहा था एज ए प्रमोशनल टूल कि जो कोई लेफ्ट ओवर स्टॉक्स रह गए हैं या इवन कोई एसक्यूज अगर रह गए जिनको कि नॉर्मल हम उसमें टर्मिनोलॉजी में कट साइज कहते हैं तो उनकी डिस्पोजल के लिए जो है वो चैनल को यूज किया जा रहा था बट नाउ the need of the hour is that it should be the leading channel for the sales. But यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान में हमारे पास problems है. Number one problem is the reach to the consumer. पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त internet penetration is 35% only, which comes around 76 million of the population can be reached through the internet. Whereas Pakistan overall is a market of 220 million people. So you see that having the e-commerce or the online the only solution to the retail industry means you are leaving 65% of the market unattended which no retailer can afford. So with ये जो हमारा जो chain stores का भी concept है it is just because to have the reach. So this is the number one challenge which we have in the online sales. Number two is the payment gateways. Payment gateways पाकिस्तान में अभी तक हमारे इतने develop नहीं हुए. The majority of the business जो कि online होता है that is on the cash on delivery and there till the time the parcel is accepted and the cash is paid by the customer there is always a high probability that the sales is not made because customer का कभी mind change हो सकता है and that sales can be dropped. So that's the number two challenge. Number third challenge is your reverse logistics. The reverse logistics is जहाँ पे आपने ऑनलाइन सेल्स तो कर ली है बट कस्टमर इज नॉट आगे कोई फिटिंग का प्रॉब्लम है प्रोडक्ट के साथ किसी भी किस्म का इशू है नाउ द रिवर्स लॉजिस्टिक्स कम्स व्हिच स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम द कस्टमर बैक टू द ई टेलर सो उसका भी कोई एसएच जो है वो अभी तक हमारे पास सोल्यूशन नहीं है ओवरऑल हमारे पास डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टू सपोर्ट आवर ई कॉम इस वक्त इज नॉट वेरी वेल एस्टैब्लिश्ड सो asking me this question, I would say that we are in a pretty bad shape as far as the e-com preparedness of retailers is concerned. I have seen some of the retailers जो कि इस COVID-19 के lockdown में ही online गए because they realized कि now there is no other option left, so they had to rush to get online in order to get whatever sales is available. So this is one thing. On the back end side, since अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आई गॉट प्रिविलेज्ड कि मैंने सोर्सिंग साइड पे भी काम किया सप्लाई चेन में भी काम किया सो सोर्सिंग में देखें जी इसमें बहुत मेजर डिसरप्शन हुई है आफ्टर स्पेशली विद रिस्पेक्ट टू पाकिस्तान एंड विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द फैशन इंडस्ट्री अगर मैं बात करूं सो बहुत मेजर डिसरप्शन हुई है जिस वक्त आपकी डॉलर एप्रिसिएशन हुई है गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसी ऑन इंपोर्ट टू कर्टेल इंपोर्ट्स उसकी वजह से इन दोनों चीज़ों की वजह से जो आपकी जो पूरी सप्लाई चेन थी वो डिसरप्ट हुई है फैशन इंडस्ट्री की स्पेसिफिकली आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट and resultantly the only fallback option was to get back to the domestic production sources. जब आप domestic production sources पे आते हैं तो वहाँ पे then you faced problem. Now problem number one is the production capacity and capability. Number two is the skill labor of your domestic producers. And number three, obviously, is the technology. Unfortunately, पिछले 15 साल में पाकिस्तान की economy was heavily dependent on the imported items, be it the consumer good, be it the fashion item. और उस imported item की वजह से retailers were able to charge a premium on that price. But because of the cost pressures today and because of our production capability where we are lacking the skill to make the produce of that quality that it matches the international standard and the price which we want to fetch out of the consumer pocket, it is now very difficult for retailers to match the to balance the equation. So I am saying the challenges on the both sides. Thank you.
All right. ठीक है आपने जो बात की वो आपने दोनों चीज़ों की बात की। मैं इसमें यहाँ पे इंगेज करना चाहूँगा राव याकूब साहब को। राव साहब बहुत शुक्रिया आपने ज्वाइन किया। जहाँ से काशिफ साहब बात कर रहे थे वहीं से आप भी कंटिन्यू कीजिए। जो 2018 का फिगर हमारे पास था पाकिस्तान की रिटेल इंडस्ट्री का, दैट वाज अराउंड $152 बिलियन, जो उस वक्त मार्केट 8.2% ग्रोथ के साथ, एनुअल ग्रोथ के साथ ग्रो कर रही थी। जो करंट लॉकडाउन आया उससे पहले की बात है सारी। उसके अलावा जो ई कॉमर्स था हमारा, वो तकरीबन कोई $1 बिलियन की मार्केट बताई गई थी। अच्छा, इस वक्त मेरे साथ राव याकूब साहब हैं इस वक्त या नहीं है? मुझे नजर नहीं आ रहे हैं। आई थिंक नहीं है हमारे साथ राव याकूब साहब इस वक्त। सलमान रऊफ साहब है हमारे साथ। सलमान साहब की तरफ मैं आऊँगा। तो जो ई कॉमर्स की मार्केट इस वक्त है वो तकरीबन $1 बिलियन। अभी लास्ट वीक हमारा एक पैनल डिस्कशन हो रहा था जिसमें बदर खुशनूद हमारे साथ थे, द एक्स कंट्री हेड ऑफ गूगल। उन्होंने भी ये नंबर कोट किया था। नहीं, सेट के जो मेजॉरिटी मार्केट है इसमें ई कॉमर्स की, वो लाइक करती है टुवर्ड्स दी फैशन आउटलेट्स, टुवर्ड्स दी फैशन रिटेल एंड टुवर्ड्स दी फैशन ब्रांड्स मेजॉरिटी। आपका ताल्लुक क्यों क्या रहा है अप्रैल के साथ? अभी भी आप लेवाइस के साथ भी आप रहे हैं, अभी भी आप आई अज्यूम की जो वर्दा फैब्रिक्स है वो भी एक अप्रैल्स में काम कर रहा है। तो यहाँ आप क्या समझते हैं, क्या ये इंडस्ट्री इस वक्त तैयार है कि इनका जो कंज्यूमर है वो ज्यादा टैक्स सेवी भी है, ज्यादा एजुकेटेड भी है? क्या ये अपने बैक एंड और फ्रंट एंड को मिला के ई कॉमर्स पे टोटली कन्वर्ट हो सकते हैं इस वक्त? सलमान राव साहब
जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये एक बहुत इंफॉर्मेटिव सेशन है और इसमें मैं अपनी कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करना चाहूँगा। जैसे आपने अभी डिस्कस किया कि $152 बिलियन की हमारी एक रिटेल की वर्थ है। अगर हम कंपेयर करें उसको $1 बिलियन से, विच इज अवर ऑनलाइन सेल्स, और 1 बिलियन आई एम श्योर दैट वुड बी नॉट अ राइट नंबर। उसकी रीजन ये है कि हमारी most of the online sales are on COD, cash on deliveries, so they are not registered. So if even I take it 4 times higher, and if I put it 4 billion, so at least even on a 4 billion, that's not even close to 0.3 or 4% of the total businesses. तो e-com overcome कर लेगा retail को, it's too early to say, right? We understand that COVID has a great impact on not only on the businesses but on our social life as well. Trends are changing, but we have to be very, very vigilant कि जब ये trends change होंगे, when the businesses will get back to their normal routine, और हम जब फ्रंट एंड कस्टमर को सर्व करना शुरू करेंगे, जैसे कि अभी काशिफ ने भी एक बात ऐड की, आई सेकंड हिम, कि आपका बहुत बड़ा नेटवर्क है retail industry. If I talk about my company, we have more than 100 stores all across in Pakistan, in the top tier cities of the Pakistan, first tier cities of the Pakistan, second tier cities, even the third tier cities of the Pakistan. And honestly speaking, we're running that business because we are getting a very good businesses out of it. और इस practice को देखते हुए a lot of big apparel fashion brands now moving towards the second or third tier cities like Daska, और बहुत सारी cities में खुड़कर, भलवाल, भक्कर, so they are expanding their footages. ठीक है? तो the main thing for right now, if we read the history of Pakistan, unfortunately, on the other side, it's unfortunate, but on the other side, हम इससे positives भी निकाल सकते हैं. Pakistan already been badly hurt by dharnas, terrorism, political instabilities, government exaggerated policies on the taxes, inflation. But as a GOM, we have fought all of these. As a business, we have fought all of these, and the businesses did grow. जैसे कि आपने बताया कि 8%, 8.5% ओवरऑल ग्रोथ किया बिजनेस ने, तो इट मींस द पोटेंशियल इज स्टिल देयर. और लास्ट 10 years of our retail was at the booming, but we cannot neglect the e-com. E-com channel is one of the growing channels in Pakistan, और this is the right time. जितना लॉकडाउन हमें टाइम हमें दे रहा है, हमें इसको पॉजिटिवली गेन करने की जरूरत है. और most of the businesses in that particular time have gone through 400 times. उनके businesses improve हुए हैं. उसकी one of the reason ये है कि obviously customer cannot buy physically, or they can only option available right now is the online purchase. और इस कोविड की not only businesses के ऊपर काफी चीजों के ऊपर hit है, but be realistic. Obviously in couple of months time that will go past. We have to get back to the basics. अब unfortunately है if I share some analysis of retail, इस time Pakistan की retail are sharing 17 to 18% to the total GDP of Pakistan. And sorry to say, unfortunately, हमारी retail industry को been very much neglected by government as well as the private sectors as well. और इसमें मैं एक चीज ऐड ऑन करना चाहूंगा, जफर अजीज साहब ने भी इस चीज को एम्फसाइज किया ट्रेनिंग्स और डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर. अनफॉर्चुनेटली इफ यू टॉक अबाउट पाकिस्तान, तो वी डू नॉट हैव एनी पर्टिकुलर इंस्टीट्यूशंस. वी आर contributing 17% or 18% to the GDP of Pakistan. और हमारी टोटल जो रिटेल है उसके बारे में अगर मैं डिस्कस करूं, चाहे वो फैशन रिटेल है, चाहे वो ग्रोसरी है, चाहे वो हाइपर मार्केट्स हैं, चाहे वो शू इंडस्ट्री है, व्हाटएवर, जिस चीज के बारे में आप डिस्कस करना चाहें, हमारे पास रिफाइंड रिसोर्सेज नहीं. हमारी बहुत डिप्रेस्ड रैशनलाइज्ड पॉलिसीज हैं और हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयज जो है टुवर्ड्स द बिजनेस इज नॉट अप्रोप्रिएट एज पर द इंडस्ट्री रिक्वायरमेंट. और हमारे जो इंडस्ट्री के जो प्रोफेशनल हैं, you will hardly find, you can count on even on your fingers that how many professionals are working in retail industry right now. तो हमें इस टाइम, और अगर हम पाकिस्तान की भी बात करते हैं, तो हमें अपनी फिलहाल इसको ओवरकम करना है by all means. As per the survey of the president of ACCA, Jiang Zhu, उनके मुताबिक once the businesses are back, तो हमें सिर्फ 1 quarter एशिया का उन्होंने जब हमें वो दिया, तो एशिया के अंदर वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग 20 to 30% dip in this business. But she, as per her survey, she was quite confident that after 3 months time that will gradually get back to the normal routine.
Okay.
और हम वापस अपनी रूटीन पे वापस आ जाएंगे. तो हमें सोल्यूशन की तरफ जाना है. We need to go to the solution, और हमें ट्रेनिंग और डेवलपमेंट में बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करने की जरूरत है. और उसके अलावा ऑब्वियसली हमारे ऑपरेशंस के अंदर वी नीड अ वेरी स्मूथ ऑपरेशंस, वेरी एजाइल, वेरी एफिशिएंट. हमें एफिशिएंसीज, अब दिस इज द राइट टाइम टू गेज द एफिशिएंसीज ओवर आवर वर्क फ्लो. हमने हर प्रोसेसेस की एफिशिएंसीज को गेज करना है. दिस इज द राइट टाइम. अगर आप पाकिस्तान की रिटेल इंडस्ट्री को देखें और उसका बूम को देखें, तो nobody was even bothering about it कि जी efficiencies पे किस तरह काम किया जा सकता है, how we can get the best out of the people. तो ये सारी चीजें पाकिस्तान इंडस्ट्री के अंदर ऑलरेडी प्रिवेल कर रही थी.
ठीक है.
कोविड आया है, obviously it will hit you for a couple of more months or even a 1 month more time, but afterwards you have to get back to your basics. तो we have to redefine our skill set, और हमें अपनी स्ट्रेटजीज पे काम करना होगा. और सेकेंडली ई-कॉम इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट प्लेटफॉर्म्स जो हम अभी यूटिलाइज करके मैक्सिमम कस्टमर को अपने ई-कॉम का एक्सपीरियंस दें.
ठीक है. आपका ख्याल ये है कि ये जो टाइम गुजरेगा एंड देन द टाइम व्हेन वी गो बैक टू द नॉर्मल बिजनेस ऑपरेशंस एंड नॉर्मल सेलिंग ऑपरेशंस, तो आपका ख्याल ये है कि वी विल गो बैक टू बेसिक्स, और शायद हमें जो अभी हम ये फायर फाइटिंग मोड में है इसकी हमें जरूरत उस तरह से ना पड़े. लेकिन स्टिल यू वांट कि हमारी जो इंडस्ट्री है वो उसको रेडी होने की जरूरत है, ताकि आइंदा कभी सूरत हाल ऐसी आए तो उसके लिए हम तैयार रहें. जवाद सलीम साहब, अच्छा मीनवाइल हमारे साथ रेहान सिद्दीकी साहब भी हैं, हेड ऑफ HR फ्रॉम चेज़र. उन्होंने मुझे करेक्ट किया है कि जो ई कॉमर्स का इस वक्त टोटल साइज है वो $1 बिलियन नहीं है, इट्स 1 बिलियन रुपीज. तो वो जो इक्वेशन है जो सलमान भाई आप बात कर रहे थे वो मजीद कम हो जाती है जब हम उसको रुपीज में ले जाते हैं. तो so thank you so much Rehan sir for correcting that. And one more thing to add into it only, जो आपने बात की ट्रेनिंग इंडस्ट्री की, बिल्कुल यू आर राइट कि वो एक गैप है, बट आई थिंक उसको कुछ कंपनीज ने अपने तौर पे कवर अप करने की कोशिश की है. आई नो वन व्हिच इज द अगेन चेज़र रिटेल एकेडमी, जो कि अपने तौर पे अपने स्टाफ को कम से कम और बाहर भी जो ट्रेनिंग सेंटर कंडक्ट कर रहे हैं, दे हैव फॉर्मुलेटेड दोस ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल्स. जवाद साहब, आपका क्योंकि जो बैकग्राउंड रिटेल के साथ अटैच्ड है, वो मैं आता हूँ सलमान साहब दोबारा आपकी तरफ आते हैं.
वेरी मच सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट.
मेरा स्किल सेट पे एक सवाल है सर, वो मैं अभी आपसे दोबारा उस पे ताकि आप इनपुट लूंगा उस पे आपसे सबसे इस पे. सो जवाद साहब, आपका एक जो अटैचमेंट है रिटेल के साथ वो फाइनेंशियल एस्पेक्ट से ज्यादा है, एंड यू वर्कड ऑन द फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेटजीज. गोइंग डिजिटल शायद कहना आसान है, जिसको एज अ लेमैन शायद उसके लिए समझना उसको आसान है, बड़ा आसान है डिजिटल चले जाना. बट एक ऐसा रिटेल एनवायरनमेंट पाकिस्तान में हमने पिछले 2 डेकेड्स में देखा, परचून की दुकान से ये सारा एनवायरनमेंट कन्वर्ट हुआ टू अ रिटेल एनवायरनमेंट, और वहां पर हमने ये देखा कि किस तरह से वो तमाम मेहनत हुई, कस्टमर जर्नी पे काम हुआ, आपकी वर्चुअल जो आपकी विजुअल मर्चेंडाइजिंग होती है उस पर काम हुआ। इस वक्त अगर हमारा जो रिटेलर है वो इन्वेस्टमेंट करता है टू कन्वर्ट हिज बिजनेस टू गो ऑनलाइन, क्या आप समझते हैं कि पाकिस्तानी मार्केट, जिस तरह हमारे जो पैनलिस्ट ने नंबर्स भी कवर किए, 35% खाली पेनिट्रेशन है ऑनलाइन कस्टमर्स की, उसको देखते हुए आप समझते हैं ROI एग्जिस्ट करता है फॉर द रिटेलर्स इन दैट बिजनेस?
Thank you very much, Rahil. First of all, thanks to all the panelists who have multiply covered everything with respect to the economic environment. Coming back to your question here, first of all, the numbers being quoted are from organized sector. Whatever we see in terms of all those retail brands or big brands, we are talking about all organized and government sector. We are forgetting that it's only 10% of the overall economy of the country. Now, with respect to digital spend, I will not go back again to the whole debate, but at this point in time, the major crunch is the liquidity crunch. Let's be realistic about that. Cash is king, and as far as the brands which are capable or even thinking of investing in digital at this point in time are lacking the funds. If all of my friends who are from the apparel retail industry, they must be aware that this was the time where they were supposed to get most of their annual sales, because Eid is coming and couple of Eid, Eid ul Adha and Eid ul Fitr, these are the periods where they earn most of their annual sales. And having said that, they have built a lot of inventory in the same scenario, because all those plannings comes around 6 to 12 months prior to what we are talking about today. So whatever in their supply chain today is already been procured, is already been manufactured. So they are already facing that crunch. During that crunch, if you ask me about investing further into digital, that's a question. I was listening to one of rather the panel of Pakistan Retail Business Council the other day, which includes all those major retailers, and they are all of the view that it's all about omni-channel going forward. We cannot only bank on digital, because they still think that with a given digital footprint in Pakistan, and it's very difficult to get anything beyond 30% of the overall sale from digital footprint. Having said that, with the for the liquidity perspective, I have to post few things from the past 1 year, that all those retailers in the past past 1 year are already in trouble. The reason being, there are a couple of major challenges in terms of taxation. General sale tax, which has increased from 6% to 14% for the integrated retailers, and 17% the rest of the others, and the inflation part. So both of these things have already curtailed their margins, have already curtailed the buying power of the consumer with respect to the given inflation scenarios, and so on and so forth. So in this scenario, investing in the business in digital, well, it's the only way forward at this point in time. Having said that, we need to work on the liquidity part. So there, the government needs to chip in as well. With a given interest rate, if you guys are falling on the interest rate part or the KIBOR part, this falling good 8.8% at this point in time, or still having a loan or have a banking transaction at 8% at this point in time is not making any sense with the given return on investments, because if you're talking about FMCG retails, they don't have that much of a margins, and the volume of the increased volume that we are expecting from digital at this point in time is not able to cover this interest cost. Same goes for the apparel retail scenarios, and one major part with respect to it's like whomsoever I've talked with in terms of CEOs of all those major retails in the past 1 or 2 weeks, all of them still believe that it's all about omni-channel. We shall not only be focusing on digital platforms, but also on our brick and mortar setup by giving consumer the sense of safety. Because one thing which everyone knows that whatever as this corona thing has done to our mindset is the fear of getting it, and it's not gonna go away right within 1 month or 2 months or 3 months time. Even if you look at the studies across the globe, it says that even 99% will 99% even scores if 1% is still there, so you still got a chance of getting it. So the fear of getting corona within the society on the mind frame of a person or a consumer like myself, all these retailers have to think about securing their consumers. This is what one part other than the digital, I think.
ठीक है, अच्छा मैं अगर इसको यहीं से बात को आगे लेके चलें और एक नेक्स्ट टॉपिक की तरफ मूव करें, जहां पर मैं चाहूंगा कि जो एक बात यहां से निकली, हम बात कर रहे हैं रिटेल के बिजनेस मॉडल को रीइनोवेट और ट्रांसफॉर्म करने की। ऑब्वियसली ये बिजनेस मॉडल्स जब बनते हैं तो इनको बनाते भी वी एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, एंड आल्सो वी नीड ह्यूमंस टू रन दैट। सलमान साहब ने भी ये बात की, मुश्ताक साहब ने भी ये बात की, काशिफ साहब ने ये बात रिपीट की कि अगर हम इनको रीइनोवेट कर भी लेते हैं, वी डोंट हैव दैट रिक्वायर्ड स्किल सेट राइट नाउ अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट। मुश्ताक साहब, पहले मैं आपकी तरफ ही आना चाहूंगा इसमें, एज यू आर वर्किंग ऑन द बैक एंड ऑफ द रिटेल, जहां पर आप सप्लाई साइड को देख रहे होते हैं पूरा। हमने फ्रंट एंड, मेजॉरिटी एज अ लेमैन जो भी रिटेल स्टोर्स में जाते हैं उनके सामने जो चीज नजर आती है वो एक फ्रंट एंड होता है रिटेल का पूरा, जहां पर जी शेल्फ्स लगे हुए हैं और प्रोडक्ट्स अवेलेबल हैं और वहां से वो सेलिंग, उसकी परचेजिंग चल रही है। इवन अगर हम बात करें ई कॉमर्स की भी, तो वहां पर भी हमें जो चीज नजर आ रही होती है वो एक ई कॉमर्स स्टोर होता है वेबसाइट के ऊपर या मोबाइल फोन के ऊपर, जहां पर प्रोडक्ट नजर आ रही है, वी कैन परचेज दोस प्रोडक्ट्स। उसके बैक एंड पे उन प्रोडक्ट्स को अवेलेबल करने के लिए जो एक पूरा साइकिल होता है, एक पूरा प्रोसेस होता है, अगर आप वहां से कनेक्ट करें एंड देन रिस्पॉन्ड मी टू दिस, कि क्या आप समझते हैं कि वो बैक एंड भी हम ट्रांसफॉर्म कर सकते हैं, एंड अगेन डू वी हैव दैट रिक्वायर्ड स्किल सेट? अगर नहीं तो क्या वहां पर क्या काम करने की जरूरत है रिक्वायर्ड स्किल सेट को प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए?
देखिए, इन सबसे जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है इस सारे फैक्टर के अंदर, वो डिजिटलाइजेशन है और आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का काम है। ठीक है, क्योंकि यू कैन नॉट डू मिरेकल्स on the basis of manual intervention. You have to think out of the box and you need to digitalize your end-to-end process. This is very, very important and imperative. So whatever strategy you can form, it should be formed on a very strong fundamental of digitalization. So I believe if you can do it, you can easily manage all your e-commerce or retail or whatever kind of operation. So it requires backward integration towards your manufacturer or the basic sourcing point where you are getting the materials, and the ultimate towards your store, and ultimately you are going to deliver to your consumers. So दुनिया के अंदर तो बहुत सारी इनोवेशन हो रही है। ठीक है, मैं मतलब अगर टॉक अबाउट टॉप नॉच कंपनीज, तो Amazon के अगर आप एग्जांपल ले, तो Amazon का वेल्थ बड़ा है इस पूरी सिचुएशन के अंदर रादर के कम हुआ है, बिकॉज ही थिंक्स आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स। मतलब वो ऐसे आइडियाज लेके आए कि उसने गली के अंदर कियोस्क system place कर दिए where a consumer can just walk in through and place his order, and ultimately he gets the delivery. So Daraz is working very nice. Matlab they have opened a very, very small outlet near to the main populated area from where they are supplying goods to the consumer. Unfortunately, Daraz was not dealing with the grocery items. They always dealt with consumer electronics and other categories. So, but since they have identified this opportunity, so unke liye bhi backward integration right now is very, very difficult. For retailers who are a very strong backward integration with manufacturer for procuring the goods, and a very strong footfall by the way of store touching the most populated area of the cities, it is very, very easy for us. We just need to set a right platform where your end-to-end integration is required. So if we can able to do it, we can easily bridge the gap, and we can start doing some sort of relief towards business and the overall communities. So this is what I thought.
सही है। सलमान साहब, अगेन सेम सवाल आपसे भी, इसमें अगेन ये भी ऐड कीजिएगा कि हम जब एज अ सेल्स पर्सन, आप भी सेल्स को देखते हैं, एज अ सेल्स पर्सन जब हम रिटेल का सोच रहे होते हैं कि जी कस्टमर जर्नी किस तरह से होगी, हमारा कस्टमर जब स्टोर में एंटर होगा तो वो पहले क्या चीज़ देखेगा, उसकी जो विजुअल मर्चेंडाइजिंग है वो किस तरह से होगी, शेल्विंग किस तरह से होगी प्रोडक्ट्स की, हमारी ये पूरी एक साइंस होती है। रिटेल मार्केटिंग कैसे हो रही होगी, ट्रेड मार्केटिंग कैसे हो रही, हम पूरा सोचते हैं, पूरा प्लान करते हैं। अगर हम इसको डिजिटल पे लेकर,
can I just butt in for a second, Rahil?
जी जफर साहब,
For a second. You know, there are some people watching from UAE who are not English, Urdu speaking. So I've received some messages from two people, actually, and there's one from London who are British also. So they just requested if you could, you know, try and make a conscious effort. You know, it's our comfort zone is Urdu, but just try and keep it comfort. At least they'll be able to.
Thank you for the heads up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the heads up. So, Salman, when we plan for the sales, we plan for everything, like from the customer journey, from the entry point to the exit point. Now, when we're talking about to transform that customer journey as well, from the conventional setup to the online setup, what do you think? How will it impact the actual sales environment? As Mushtaq Saab has said, as the other panelists have said, I have talked 2 weeks back to one of the biggest IT company, NetSol, you worry साहब उनसे बात हुई, and we are what we are forcing is we are forcing at least 3/4 30 to 40% downfall of revenue for every business, not only in Pakistan but other economies as well, wherever the business has been stopped. So considering that, what do you suggest? आपने resource की बात की, how can we build that skill set, and going on to re-innovate on these business, what we need to do?
Just to share my experience of last, just to share my experience, just recently happened last year, when our inflation rised up, and secondly, the government policies regarding our taxes also improved 6% to 14%, 9% to 17%. The registered sector got 14%, the 12%, the other, the non-registered sector got 17% taxes. And all that taxes, most of it, some of the companies passed all the taxes to the customer. Some of them passed 50%, and they absorbed the 50% by their own self on the cost. But the impact was there. But if you look at that trend, I know that trend is not so similar to the COVID trend. But if you compare that trend, only 2 months, it took only 2 months. The business got back. The business got back to their normal routine, right? And if you talk about the training and development of the people, as I told you, we do not have a specialized training institute in Pakistan, although we are contributing the major part of business for the overall GDP of Pakistan. Secondly, if we do provide trainings, we do not make follow-ups. We do not make standard follow-ups procedures in which you can gauge the trainings. You have the tools available through which you can gauge that how my team is performing. You need to put on the KPIs, and you have to put all the training tools on the floor and look at the results you are getting out of it, right? If I talk about the tools we are using, we have a very wonderful tool which we call at customer footfall counter, right? If you compare the footfall of retail industry against the footfall of the e-com, and if you compare the conversion rate of retail industry of standalone and your malls store, and if you compare the e-com conversion, so there's a hell of difference between it. So it means the customers have that one-to-one relation, one-to-one product experience. And that is one of the reasons. And if we talk about, we are considering one of the top-notch countries, but we are not considering Pakistan. The main factor here, we have to consider Pakistan right now, because we are worried about our, whatever others are doing. Yes, we can adopt that practices, but that practices should match to our economy, to match to our culture. If you talk about digitalization, I have no doubts that we should improve the digitalization, but we have to work very efficiently on our retail sector. Now, that's on the front end as well as on the back end. And we have to set standards for our retail, that how to do the customer services, at what level we have to provide the customer services, how we can transform the skill set of our employees. If you give you example of our brand, we are continuously working on it. And honestly speaking, we are getting unexpected results, alhamdulillah, right? Because if you do not follow up, it's a human brain who will remember it for a couple of days or 3 or 4 hours, then all gone. But if you make it a habit, or if you make it the complete habit of any employees, either he's a salesman, either he's a senior. I think there's a distortion. Are you getting my video back now?
You can continue.
Is it okay right now?
It's fine.
Okay. तो हम जो हमारा, अगर आप फुटफॉल देखते हैं हमारे स्टैंड अलोन का, हमारे if you look at it, the footfall of our mall store is far more. There is no comparison, right? So the main focus of the sales team is a conversion, and also there is so many things involved in it. We always blame and put a blame that the sales are down. It is because of the front end sales team. The business is combination of so many things. Back end, front end, your efficiencies, your product availabilities. And in Pakistan, we are blessed with 4 seasons, right? And the two top, we have a great 2 occasions, the holy occasions of our Eid as well. So we have to capitalize. We have to improve our efficiencies of product development as well as supply chain. Because if you have a right product on the right place, you will get the best out of it. And secondly, we have to work on liquidation plans, that how to liquidate. My team is ready to sell the product. Is it so much trained? Are they so much efficient to sell the product? And secondly, you should have standardization, which you can implement all across. It's not an easy thing to control 100 stores by sitting on a chair, right? So you have a mechanism, you have a standardization. You can sit on your chair and you can control all your operations efficiently.
All right. Malik Saab, on the same topic, on the resources and the skill set that we need for the resources.
Raheel?
I've seen recently. Yeah, I know we are getting short of time. I know. I'm just winding it up.
Yes, right. I just wanted to remind you.
And I know. Kashi Saab, so when we talk about having the right resource for the right job, when we're talking about the transformation from the conventional to the online business, most of the businesses, what they are doing is that they are laying off the current workforce, most of them, and hiring the people who have the right skill set. My question is that, do we have that right skill set available in Pakistan? Like Salman has pointed out, like other panelists have pointed out, that we don't have that kind of the trainings available for those people to acquire that skill set. Won't that be easier for businesses to retain the employees that we have and train them for the new skill set that they need for the new transformed business model? Is that easy, or is that easy to lay off and hire the new resource?
Look, Raheel, the situation businesses are in today in this COVID-19 lockdown, you see, the retail model is all based upon the today's cash inflows and deferred supplier payments. So it's a very, I would say it's an agile model, and the people have seen the fragile model, and people have seen the fragility. It has been witnessed, and that is the reason that few of the retailers have started saying goodbye to their resources, especially the people from the production side. The question is of the skills. First, we need to see that in Pakistan, the retail started back in 2006, 2007. Now I'm talking about the modern retail. When these metros and macros of the world, they started stepping into the Pakistan market and establishing the modern retail in the country. Earlier than that was a traditional or conventional retail going on in the country. So once metros and macros, they stepped into the Pakistan market, they invested heavily on the people training. For a fact, since I was the part of metro, I know that the bunches of the people, those were sent abroad just to for the sake of the training, just to learn the modern trade and come and back and retrain the people and implement the modern concepts here in the retail. So it's been like 15 years that the process of developing the retail force has been initiated in this country. But the current crisis is now demanding us to retrain our workforce in different dimensions, especially in the field of the in the field of the digital platforms. I would say the one is the digital marketing, the e-com itself. I would say that I have seen the scarcity of the resources in that area. So that is one avenue which needs to be taken care of. And for that, the private sector can do its part, but again, the government should also come up with some incentives for the private sector to encourage this transformation from brick and mortar to the online retail.
All right. Jawad Saab, coming to you with the same question, and I think it will be the last as we are running out of time. जो हम बात कर रहे हैं
राहील साहब,
कि इसमें कि बहुत बड़ी कॉस्ट ये भी इन्वॉल्व है कि जब हम ट्रांसफॉर्म करने जाते हैं तो वी नीड टू इक्विप आवर करंट और न्यू रिसोर्स विद द रिक्वायर्ड स्किल सेट फॉर दैट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. जो मैंने observe किया है, there's my personal observation, I might be wrong, with the training industry, that most of the businesses are reluctant to invest in training and development to their employees. They are looking forward to more of those aspects जहाँ से उनको foreign ROI नजर आ रहा हो, जहाँ से foreign वो return देख सकते हो. So do you think कि इस वक्त जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, एक तो transform करने की and then resource को equip करने की to cope with that transformation, businesses इस काबिल हैं financially इस वक्त कि वो ये दोनों तरफ की इसको financial burden को कर सकें, या क्या solution होगा इसका?
Yeah, Rahil. So first of all, in order to get that liquidity thing aligned, we need to look at the whole value chain. It's not about only about resources, and not about supply chains, your suppliers, customers. It's all about whole value chain needs to be looked into, and we have to find a way out of the whole supply chain to get this excess cash generated somehow. With respect to the training perspective or everything, one thing which I personally feel is lacking is not only the responsibility of the employer altogether, it's the responsibility of the employee, him or herself as well. During my whole career, though I've worked with companies like Levi's and Carrefour who are very good at training your people around, however, still I tend to struggle myself, or I tend to invest on myself to train myself. It's not only the employer's responsibility. So we need to understand that aspect there, where I will again come back to the first part of Zafar Saab, whereby he says, he talks about the value addition which I or any other employee can bring in. So there, it's not the employer responsibility to bring you in, train you, and get the value out of you. Maybe it's our part as well to get ourselves equipped with with all those new equipment, tools, or the technology in the market, and get ourselves savvy out of it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Jawad Saab, thank you so much. I'd like to thank all the panelists, Janab Bawan Mushtaq Saab, Janab Kashif Malik Saab, Janab Salman Rauf Saab, Jawad Salim Saab, and Rao Yaqub Sir ने बीच में join किया था कुछ देर के लिए. There might be some problem that he left during the conversation. So thank you so much all of you, and I hope and I think that the audience that we had, they had the a brief insight of what we are looking forward if we talk about the transformation and re-innovation of the current business models that we have currently in place in the retail industry. And if we do that, what kind of solutions that we look forward for, what kind of steps that we need to go for. These people are doing these steps in their industries for last almost a decade now, and अब अगर उसको करने जाते हैं ये लोग कैसे करेंगे, so I think that will be a guideline for every one of us. So again, thank you so much all the panelists. Thank you HR Legends Forum, and thank you Rehan sir for recommending us for to conduct this panel discussion. Over to you, Shinaya.
Thank you so much, Raheel. Thank you so much, Raheel. Yes, Mr. Mustafa, I would like to know that we have everyone available from panel 2. I hope, Mr. Mustafa, you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we have everyone available from panel 2.
Yeah, let's assume they are available.
All right. So let's move to panel discussion 2 about people management effects of COVID-19 and future talent management strategies. Where we do have our moderator with us, Shehbaz Ali Beg. We welcome you. He is Global Talent Acquisition Leader from Amazon. We'd like to welcome you. And the panel members with him, Mohammad Rehan Siddiqui, Head of Corporate HR and OD, Chase Up Shopping City. Abdul Fattah Anwar, and he is Senior HR Consultant from Morocco. Hassan Raza, HR Head, Elan, and Zinia Kim, HR Head, Coca-Cola, Tajikistan. Right. Over to you, Mr. Shehbaz.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. It's about 6 a.m. my time. I'm here in United States, but I know there are people from all over the world on this call. First, I really want to congratulate the organizers for hosting this. This is a gutsy move. It's not an easy thing to plan and organize a virtual conference in such a short time period. Plus, I think it's a good opportunity because there are a lot of consultants in this meeting, and you can imagine consultants likes to talk, and so when they're stuck and in a lockdown, stuck at home with their families, they must be driving their families crazy. So this gives them an opportunity to speak their minds and hopefully give their family a little bit of a break as well. Let me give you a quick introduction about myself and also this topic, which is really, really important, which is people management effect of COVID-19 and also talent management strategies. This is something that I am dealing with a lot extensively these days in my role. I think, as you know, I'm in Amazon right now, and Amazon is both in technology as well as in retail sector. And there are a lot of things that are opportunities and challenges that are taking place in this retail sector because of COVID-19. And so people like myself who are in human resources, we're dealing with the impact of it and what that means to our people, what that means to our customers, to our employees, to our candidates, and so on. And there is no one size that fits all. So the challenges that maybe in UAE, maybe brings all of us together globally. I don't think there's ever been any time in history when everyone around the world is dealing with the same pain and the same challenges. There's an article that I wrote recently on Facebook and LinkedIn. I just want to start with that as my opening remarks, and then I'm going to actually ask my panelists questions. We want to make sure that we go through a rapid fire, so we get a lot of questions and a lot of answers in a short amount of time. But let me read through this article. I'm actually typing and copy pasting this in the chat window, so you all can read it in the chat window as and when you like. But let me read through this as my opening remarks, and then we'll start with the Q&A process. These are times of great peace, yet great violence. These times should humble all of us. Whether you are a prince or pastor, no one is exempt. Coronavirus truly is the equalizer of our times. I've always been a strong advocate for globalization, and I think this is the first time in our life that I see the globe has come together. Whether you're in the East or on the West, anywhere in the world, you're dealing with lockdown, and we have a common enemy. The only way we can protect ourselves and others that we care about is to keep a distance from them. The virus has made people realize that egos and greed and all that BS has no meaning, and that life is truly short. If you think about it, either COVID-19 has a grand purpose of doing spring cleaning our earth, or it is just a fluke of nature. If you think about some of the good things that have happened recently, I always say start with good thoughts and then talk about challenges. If you think about it, in the recent times, in the last 6 weeks, if you look at all the stats around the world, the crime rate have significantly dropped around the world. Terrorism is at all-time low. Manufacturing of weapons have reduced. Pollution has gone down. Seas and rivers are cleaner than ever before, and people are spending more quality time with their families. So there are some good things that are coming out of this. And I always say, I encourage all of us to thank those who are doing delivery, like Amazon and other delivery drivers, nurses at our local doctors, the local restaurants that are still giving takeout, grocery stores like Imtiaz that are still open for everyone else, and even the fruit vendor that is selling mangoes on the street corner. They all are contributing to our society, and so there are good things that are happening. So in spirit of talking about good things, one of the things that I wanted to ask everyone on my panel, and I'll just ask everyone to take 1 minute and try to answer this question, is what is your organization, what is your company doing to help your employees, to help your customers, as well as helping the society in general? So I'll actually start with my good friend, Rehan. Rehan, why don't you go first? Tell us a little bit about what are you doing from an HR perspective to help your employees and customers to deal with with these challenging times?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please carry on.
Yes. First, I would like to congratulate Ghulam Mustafa to arrange this event. Really, it's very extensive learning for me, and obviously for the rest of the participants as well. And you, Arma Ustade Mohtaram, is also here. And
Thank you, my friend.
one of my Ustade Mohtaram, Zafar Usmani Saab. I'm very impressed with the presentation that he has done today. First, I would like to discuss about the retail local dynamics right now, but we are facing right now. Actually, sir, we are not full-fledged. We have opened our stores for these days due to government regulations. Obviously, we are operating with the food stores and non-food stores are completely entirely closed. But your questions, coming back to your questions, what we have done for our employees and for our customers as well. Obviously, as a precautionary measures and the preventive measures, we have made some kind of safety and health initiatives with this company. Obviously, we have gone through some kind of COVID test with our employees, fix the hand sanitizers, safety equipments we have handed over to the operational staff. So these kind of stuff we have done with the staff. And if you talk about the customers, so since we are facing the lockdown, we are planning how can we facilitate our customers. So let me share one thing honestly. Chizab is one of the store in Karachi and might be here in Pakistan. We have introduced pick and drop facility. As you know that we are also operating with the online business. So what we have introduced is obviously we have limitations for the social distancing in our stores. We cannot accommodate entirely or huge crowd in stores simultaneously with the when we are opening with the customers. So obviously what we have done that the customer can place order online. And if, obviously we have limitations, we cannot deliver to their homes. So what we decided to pick from the stores. That means you can place your order through online, and after an hour or 2 hours, you can pick your order from the store. So that would be convenient for you if you want to save your time, if you want to expedite your order. Obviously, home delivery won't be possible for all the customers, and obviously it will take time. So this initiative, what Chizop has taken these days.
No, that's a very good point, Rehan, because I think the point I see a lot of chat about digitization, and I always say it's about giving customers access, right? So it's not like, oh, just e-commerce is the solution for everything. It's about how do you give different channels or giving access to customers. So who cannot come to your store, you're doing pick and drop for them. Let me just try to get others also on board on here. First, I just want to make sure, because I don't see her online. Sinia Kim, head of HR, Coca-Cola. Are you online?
I think she's not here.
Yeah.
Let me
so
can you please
yeah, see if she's online. So while we're waiting for her, I don't want to wait. Let's move on to Hassan Raza. Hassan, I'll ask you the same question that I asked Rehan, right? During this lockdown, what are you doing in terms of, maybe providing any support to your employees or the customers, or anything that you are doing for, the betterment of the society as a whole?
अच्छा आउज़ बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि व सल्लिम अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मदिन व आलिहि बिक़द्रि हुस्निहि व जमालिहि व नूरिहि व कमालिहि. First of all, I would like to thanks to Ghulam Mustafa Saab for taking such a great initiative, and we all are here and we're discussing the issues of that we are facing right now in retail sector. सबसे पहले तो मैं आपसे ये शेयर करूंगा कि आई एम वेरी एक्टिव इन लिंक्डइन. लिंक्डइन पे कोविड से पहले मेरे पास डेली बेसिस पे 5 से 10 लोगों के जो रेज्यूमे सीवीज थे वो आया करते थे, और आफ्टर कोविड मुझे ये जो एवरेज था ये 40 to 50% पे चला गया। 40 से 50 सीवीज मुझे डेली बेसिस पर आते हैं, और आप यकीन माने कि मेजॉरिटी जो सीवीज हैं वो रिटेल सेक्टर्स के लोगों के हैं, जिसमें से एरिया मैनेजर्स, इवन सेल्समैन, बाकी सब लोगों के हैं। तो यहाँ पर तो ये इशू अभी तक, इस इशू को एड्रेस करने के लिए मैंने पर्सनल लेवल पे ये किया है, क्योंकि देखें सबसे ज्यादा जो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि जिसका इफेक्ट जिस सेक्टर पे आया है वो रिटेल सेक्टर पे आया है, और हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम में हैं और क्राइसिस में हैं। मैंने इनिशिएटिव अपने एंड पे ये लिया कि दो तरह की जो चीजें हैं वो हुई हैं मार्केट में, एक तो ले ऑफ्स हुए हैं और दूसरा सैलरी कट्स हुए हैं। कुछ लोगों के लिए मैंने ये किया कि मैंने एक अपने गूगल ड्राइव अपने ही खुद ही मैंने इनिशिएटिव लिया और मैंने गूगल ड्राइव बना ली डिफरेंट फोल्डर से, और डेजिग्नेशन वाइज मैंने वहां पे फोल्डर बना ली। अभी
Hassan, you're breaking up a little bit. Your screen got frozen, so maybe you have to reconnect. Let me ask if Senia Kim is online or Abdul Fita. Either one of you online yet? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay, I think one of the things, I'll just finish what Hassan was saying. Sorry, say that again. Okay, I think one of the things that Hassan was saying, and I just want to kind of carry that message forward, is I think anything that we all can do individually or collectively for the betterment of anyone, I think right now that's the right thing to do. You know, I think that's a message that I was talking to.
I got Shehbaz, I got disconnected. Sorry.
All right, Hassan, please conclude your point, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'm
Yes.
just concluding it.
Go ahead.
Okay. अच्छा, I was sharing with you कि हम लोगों के जो एम्प्लॉइज हैं उनके जहन में चल क्या रहा था, उनके जहन में क्या चल रहा है कोविड की वजह से। सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन उनके जहन में आता है जॉब सिक्योरिटी, कि यार मेरी जॉब सिक्योर है या नहीं है। दूसरा उनका पर्सनल हेल्थ, कि हमारी पर्सनल हेल्थ है वो क्या है। फिर उनके फाइनेंशियल्स, जो उनके फाइनेंशियल चल रहे हैं। तीसरा रिमोट वर्क कि क्या होगा, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस है, फैमिली हेल्थ है, प्रोडक्टिविटी है, सोशल आइसोलेशन है। अब ये सारे के सारे जो इश्यूज हैं वो हमारे एम्प्लॉइज के जहन में हैं। एंड व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, वी आर हैविंग कम्युनिकेशन सेशंस विद ऑल टीम मेंबर्स। ऑनलाइन सेल्स हम लोगों की भी चल रही हैं और हम लोग भी ऑनलाइन सेल्स जो हैं वो कर रहे हैं। अच्छा, मैं ये समझता हूँ कि इस टाइम हमें क्या करने की जरूरत है। One of the most important HR capabilities being tested is agility. HR department must build a crisis response muscle, learn quickly how to distribute authority and coordinate activity, and implement real-time data collection. Listening and communication programs must be initiated. ये हमें लेने होंगे क्योंकि हमारा एम्प्लॉय जो है वो इस टाइम परेशान है, वो अनसर्टेनिटी की वजह से जो है। जफर उस्मानी साहब ने बिल्कुल सही फरमाया और उन्होंने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा कि फ्यूचर में अगर आप अपने आप को देखते हैं तो आपको अपने ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा काम करना पड़ेगा। अच्छा, ये 2 वे प्रोसेस है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी देखेंगी और एम्प्लॉयज जो है वो भी देखेंगे, वो भी अपने आप को, अपना जो स्किल सेट है वो इम्प्रूव करेंगे। अब ये नहीं होगा कोविड के बाद कि मैं एक काम कर रहा था वो मैं एक ही काम करूंगा, नहीं, मुझे शायद हो सकता है कुछ महीने के लिए 2-3 काम करने पड़े, मुझे मल्टीटास्किंग करनी पड़े, उसके लिए मुझे अपना स्किल सेट इंप्रूव करना पड़ेगा। That is my message.
No, that's a wonderful message, and I like your idea of, hey, you're doing something on your own, कि जब आपके पास CVs आ रहे हैं, you're trying to put them into a drive and see what you can do for those individuals. I think you're right. I can relate to it. मेरे पास जितने LinkedIn और Facebook पे requests आ रहे हैं recently, I've never received them, and it is. And while it is overwhelming, but I think at the same time, वो कहते हैं ना, इंसान जो जिसके लिए जो तब कर सके, you should do whatever is in your means. I'll give you an example of something that I have done. I actually going to bring this up. I went to a LinkedIn conference, or LinkedIn conference I was able to get some LinkedIn licenses for free. where you can research and everything for free. And I actually gave those licenses to 5 individuals from my Facebook, someone that I thought was very qualified, someone who's very passionate and hardworking, but because of COVID-19 has lost their job in retail or other sectors. It's something that I did from my end. I was talking to my son. That's the background that you see is my son, Mikhail. He's 10 years old. और वो कहता है कि what do I do in Ramzan? And I said, do something that you can do to help someone else. And he has over 10,000 followers on Facebook, and he started promoting local restaurants and local retail businesses during COVID-19 on his Facebook. And I said, that's one way that you can actually do something good in the spirit of Ramadan. And that was the message. And I'll actually add his link right here in the chat window. One of the things I want to go back to the panel, and I think we have only 2 individuals, so that's good. We'll have a, unfortunately, I don't see Kim or Abdul on the call yet. Let me ask you about innovation, right? Because every time that there is a problem, it makes an individual, it makes an organization figure out how to actually survive and thrive. And for that, sometimes problems leads to opportunities, right? I've worked for organizations that always had innovation as their focus, but they also had a good purpose. ठीक है, जब आप किसी इदारे में काम करते हैं जहां आपका पर्पस बड़ा अच्छा हो, तो then you actually feel like that will survive through difficult times. You know, I see Imtiaz store on the call is a good example. You know, whatever it is, you go back to the beginning of it, it had a good purpose, or the purpose was कि भाई, you're going to keep the cost down for your customer, ताकि customer दूर दूर से आपके पास आए. Another good company that I worked with in Pakistan as a consultant and worked with the leadership was Young's Food. Again, a company that has purpose. Rehan is with Chase. Right now I'm with Amazon. Before that, I was with GE. All these companies have one thing in common. They actually have a good core, and they also have a purpose. And finally, they come up with innovative ideas. The innovation doesn't have to be something every time focused on, you know, e-commerce and artificial intelligence. All of those things I'm passionate about. But I think sometimes innovation can be something as simple as pick and drop, like Rehan, what you were saying. So let me ask you, Rehan, a question about some type of innovation that you have seen both within your organization and also some sort of innovative, simple innovation ideas that you have seen in Karachi or Pakistan in the retail sector.
I'm unable to hear you. Can you please come again?
Yeah, so Rehan, my question was in terms, can you give us an example of any kind of innovation that has taken place either in your organization or any other organization in the retail sector that you have seen in Karachi or Pakistan? One example that I will give you of innovation is something that Amazon was piloting a few months before COVID-19, and that was going to grocery stores where you can actually basically buy everything on an app, and you don't have to actually deal with someone at the grocery counter, right? And now with COVID-19, that innovation is actually becoming a bit of a necessity. You talked about an innovative idea, which was pick and drop, right, of products. Any examples of any innovation that you can share that you have seen recently in the retail sector in Pakistan?
I believe COVID-19 has changed our life with many directions. Mm-hmm. For instance, if I talk about 3 or 4 months back, and if someone comes to me and says, can you believe there is no airline business will be operated in across the world? So probably I would have answered him, what is this bullshit? Why are you talking about this nonsense? Because that is impractical if we go back 3 or 4 months back. But
true.
But the real scenario we are facing right now, and we can see there is no networking or there is no airline business which is operating in across the world. So that can believe is unbelievable, or what we say namumkinat. में से एक चीज हुई है. Anyway, coming back to your point about the innovations and the creativity or digitalization, one of the research I was going through recently that routinely especially in Walmart and across the world, people routinely used to use online applications for buying the groceries and fashion apparel or whatever their consumer usages. So I was going through the study, and that is revealed the 600% of digital applications increase in the usage of digital application. For instance, अगर कोई digital application, for instance, अगर चल रही थी 100% of this digitalization, that is increased up to 600%. That's mean there is a big change. If I talk about the Karachi market or the Pakistan market, so there is a good opportunity and very excellent opportunity for the software houses and the applications that companies are focusing on the digitalized business. For instance, e-commerce business. Companies are working on e-commerce business, data digitalization, and the channels or medium of supply chain. How can we take benefit from these kind of businesses? Because there is no such fashion apparel business right now in Pakistan because the stores are closed. There is no permission from the government. So this is the thing. So companies are working on the e-commerce business model, or obviously they are making the brainstorming ideas. How can we get the same business through e-commerce business? So people are working on this.
No, thank you. Thank you. Hassan, same question for you. Anything that you have seen in terms of innovative ideas in the last couple of months? Sorry, let me get Hassan's point and then Rehan, I'll come back to you.
अच्छा शहबाज साहब, इसमें यह है कि जिस तरह रेहान भाई बता रहे हैं कि जी के बिल्कुल कोविड की वजह से हमें अब ये देखें इनोवेशन और क्रिएटिविटी की तरफ आपको जाना पड़ेगा. यू डोंट हैव एनी ऑप्शन. अगर हम आफ्टर कोविड की बात करें तो आपको ये करना पड़ेगा. देखिए अभी रिसेंटली मैं ये देख रहा हूँ कि हम लोग, पहले मैं जूम यूज नहीं करता था, इतना इफेक्टिवली यूज नहीं करता था. अब मैं जूम के बगैर रह ही नहीं सकता क्योंकि मुझे घर पे रहना पड़ता है. तो हमने ये कोविड ने, मैं समझता हूँ कि हमारे लिए एक हद तक ब्लेसिंग इस तरह से था कि डिजिटलाइजेशन पाकिस्तान में उस तरह से इम्प्लीमेंट हो ही नहीं रही थी. तो कोविड के आने की वजह से बाय फोर्स कह लें जिस तरह भी है, तो डिजिटलाइजेशन जो है वो इम्प्लीमेंट हो गई है और अब लोग इस तरफ जा रहे हैं. तो रिटेल में भी मैं ये देखता हूँ कि अब ऑनलाइन जिस तरह से ऑर्डर्स जो हैं, मैं एक दो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लोगों से बात हो रही थी तो उनसे ये मैं पूछ रहा था कि आप लोग के ऑनलाइन सेल्स नंबर कितने थे बिफोर कोविड. तो वो बता रहे थे कि हमारे इतने कम नंबर थे ना. तो आफ्टर कोविड उनके ऑनलाइन सेल्स के नंबर 4 टाइम, वो पता नहीं 10 टाइम्स वो बढ़ गए. तो आई मीन ये देखें कि हमारे पास एक अपॉर्चुनिटी थी, क्रिएटिविटी थी, इनोवेशन थी, हमारे पास एक टूल मौजूद था, लेकिन हमने कभी इस तरफ फोकस ही नहीं किया. आज हम बाय फोर्स अगर हमें फोकस करना पड़े तो हम कर रहे हैं. तो मेरा ख्याल है कि डिटेल में जो मैं देखता हूँ कि ऑनलाइन और डिजिटलाइजेशन जो है वो अच्छी तरह से और इस तरह यूज हो रही है.
नहीं, दैट्स अ गुड पॉइंट. देखिए कभी कभार जब वही मैंने कहा ना कि समटाइम्स अ प्रॉब्लम ब्रिंग्स अबाउट अ चेंज, अ पॉजिटिव चेंज, and that's why I'm very hopeful. मैंने question chat में डाला था and people are giving an answer on that. I said on a scale of 1 to 10, how hopeful are you about the future? 1 being hopeless, 10 being hopeful. And I'm seeing the numbers popping up in the chat window. So at least everyone, all the attendees are participating this way. And I think everyone has a different perspective, right? It depends on where you are sitting and what you have seen. I'll tell you, I'm very hopeful. I'm 10. For multiple reasons. 1, because I've lived in Pakistan. I am from Pakistan, and I know what Pakistanis are capable of, right? So I start out with positivity because of that, because I think Pakistan has gone through a lot, and they will survive this. As a
I would like to add,
one second, let me complete my thought. One of the things that I think sometimes people maybe in certain parts of the world don't realize, this is not the first time that we have had a crisis like this. I personally went through something like this, exactly like this in 2008, when the whole world economy collapsed. Pakistan actually was protected from that crisis, but almost 80% of the world economy collapsed during 2008. But things came back up. But the difference was that organizations realize that one, they have to focus on their supply chain. They have to make sure that they're efficient. They have to make sure they focus on their processes to be very simple, to be very standardized. And then they focused on digitization, which is right now, as you said, is actually helping all of us survive. Let me, Hassan, come back to you with the next question. And then after you, I'll go to Rehan. I want to ask you about what do you see in terms of the pattern of consumer behavior for the next 6 to 12 months? Before I do that, let me give you an example. I was in another conference and I was representing Amazon. There was an individual representing Walmart. And he said that Walmart, right? Initially, when COVID happened, the lockdown happened, people ran to Walmart to buy hand sanitizers, and hand sanitizers were out of stock. 3 weeks went by and people started buying board games, बच्चों के लिए खिलौने, ताकि वो घर में बैठ के कुछ entertain कर सकें. Now people are buying beauty products, क्योंकि अब, people cannot go to their beauty salons and nail salons. So the pattern of consumer have changed in the last 6 weeks drastically from essentials to non-essentials. So before I go to Rehan, let me ask you, Hassan, this question. What do you anticipate in terms of consumer behavior, right, or their pattern in the next 6 to 12 months, particularly in Pakistan and other kind of emerging markets in Asia?
अच्छा शिवाज भाई, अभी तो वी आर इन अ सिचुएशन, लॉकडाउन लगा हुआ है, तो लॉकडाउन की वजह से जो बेसिक नेसेसिटीज हैं, तो लोगों का फोकस उस पर ज्यादा है. जैसे कि आपको पता है कि पाकिस्तान में हम लोग ज्यादातर तो ये होता है कि ग्रोसरी ले लो, यहाँ पे मतलब इस तरह की चीजें जो है वो हम देख रहे हैं आगे. अच्छा, मैं आपको एक और बात बताऊं. अभी रिसेंटली मेरी परसों एक बात हो रही थी किसी स्टोर मैनेजर से, तो वो बता रहे थे कि आजाद जम्मू कश्मीर में और मीरपुर में कुछ स्टोर्स ओपन हुए हैं पाकिस्तान में ना, जो फैशन अपैरल के. तो वहां पर वो बता रहे थे कि उस दिन की जो सेल है वो सेल बहुत बेहतर थी. मतलब एक दिन की सेल जो है वो बहुत बेहतर आई, और वो स्टोर मैनेजर एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था कि शायद हम लोग की सेल बेहतर ना आए ड्यू टू कोविड, लेकिन क्योंकि उन्होंने मेजर्स लिए हुए थे और लोग बाहर निकले हैं. लेकिन मेरा अपना जाती ख्याल ये है कि अगले 6 से 12 महीने के लिए लोग सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपनी बेसिक्स जो नेसेसिटीज होंगी वो पूरे करेंगे. और हो सकता है कि जब हमें अब एक्चुअल सिनेरियो, एक्चुअल सिचुएशन तो तब पता चलेगी जब ये सारे के सारे स्टोर्स जो है ना वो खुल जाएंगे. लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि अभी सिर्फ और सिर्फ लोग इस पे फोकस करेंगे, क्योंकि देखें हमारे पास जॉब्स नहीं हैं, सैलरी कट्स हो चुके हैं, तो लोगों की जो इनकम है, पैसा है, वो भी उनके पास उस तरह से नहीं होगा कि वो जाके बाइंग कर सकें. अच्छा, सलमान ने एक बात कही थी, मैं उसको ऐड करना चाहूंगा. आई डोंट नो मुझे दोबारा मौका मिले कि ना मिले, तो मैं इसको जरा उसमें उन्होंने कहा था कि ट्रेनिंग्स जो है ना बिल्कुल हमें अपने स्टाफ की करवानी चाहिए. लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली शहबाज साहब, जब हम ट्रेनिंग्स की बात करते हैं, तो जब सबसे पहला कट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में किसी डिपार्टमेंट में लगता है, एचआर में, वो सबसे पहला कट ट्रेनिंग्स पे ही लगता है अनफॉर्चुनेटली. तो सबसे पहले ये कहा जाता है कि ट्रेनिंग्स जो है ना वो आप कम कर दें या आप खत्म कर दें. आई डोंट नो आप एग्री करेंगे या डिसएग्री, लेकिन मेरा एक्सपीरियंस तो ऐसा ही है. मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि बिल्कुल हमें करना चाहिए, और ट्रेनिंग टू वे प्रोसेस होगा. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तो ट्रेन कर रही होगी आपको, लेकिन आपने अपने आप को खुद भी ट्रेन करना है, ताकि आप ये कोविड जैसी जो हमें अल्लाह माफी दे आफत का सामना है, उसको जो है आप अच्छी तरह से उसको फेस कर सकते हैं. तो बिल्कुल आपका पॉइंट ठीक है कि ट्रेनिंग जो है वो करवानी चाहिए. और वैसे ही हमारे पास कोई ऐसा इदारा रिटेल कोई ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं है, कोई ट्रेनिंग सेक्टर के, जो कि हमें ट्रेन स्टाफ दे सके. लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली जब इस तरह की बात आती है, तो सबसे पहला कट जो लगता है वो ट्रेनिंग्स पे ही लगता है. दूसरा मैसेज मैं एक जो जितने भी हमारे जो लोग सुन रहे हैं और जो इस टाइम कोविड की वजह से परेशान हैं और जॉबलेस हो गए हैं, उनको मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि this is a temporary phase. ये मेरी जो वर्डिंग है ना, ये नोट कर लें कि ये टेम्परेरी फेज है, इसमें गुजर जाना है. इस फेज में आपने पॉजिटिव रहना है. कोई जरूरत नहीं है किसी के बारे में, किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में या किसी इंडिविजुअल के बारे में कहीं भी किसी फोरम पे ड्यू टू रीजंस जिसकी वजह से भी कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को बारे जरूरत नहीं है कि आपको कमेंट पास करने की. उसकी रीजन ये है कि ये 3-6 महीने में ये सारा सिनेरियो ठीक हो जाना है. और उसके बाद क्या होगा कि वही एम्प्लॉयर जिसके बारे में आपने बुरा कहा होगा, वहीं से आपका रेफरेंस चेक किया जा रहा होगा. तो मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है सबसे, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड, मैं खुद भी उसमें हूँ, फ्रस्ट्रेशन बिल्कुल आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि फ्रस्ट्रेशन है और बड़ी प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, इश्यूज हैं, लेकिन यू हैव टू स्टे पॉजिटिव. इसके अलावा हमारे पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. अपने दरवाजे बंद ना करें.
No, Hassan, you have very good point. I think I always say you got to think positive, act positive, and this is short term. So right now, when you're going through this crisis, and if unfortunately you don't have employment, etc., either you can sulk at home, right, and watch TV and eat bad food, or you can actually use this time to do something productive. Keep yourself busy, keep yourself in the game, because once this is over, things will come back very rapidly. My view is that once this is all cleared up, people are going to be more hungry to do better, and we will actually see a big spike, an increase in our economy, and more jobs will come. So when people have time and opportunity, when they're not doing anything, self-training, you don't have to have some corporate training, to your point, to be successful. A lot of my own training has been because I wanted to learn rather than someone telling me to learn. Rehan, I'll come to you, and with the same question. You're in the retail business. What kind of pattern do you see in terms of consumer behavior, whether it comes to essentials, non-essentials, cosmetics, etc.? You're on mute, Rehan.
I'm sorry. Now you can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I think we have to evaluate this particular questions with the multiple aspects. For instance, we have about more than 70% populations who work with the companies. I would say they are not a business owners. They are with the employments with the different employers. And currently, the situation that we are facing right now with the employers, there are pay cuts, there are job eliminations, there are forced separations. And obviously, that would also impact on the consumer behavior as well. For instance, if the individual doesn't sufficient amount, so how can we even buy the basic commodities, or how can we fulfill the basic needs of the individual or his family? So मेरे ख्याल है इसको हमें इस तरह से देखना होगा कि what kind of scenarios we are going to face after the COVID-19. For instance, as a retailer or as a retail specialist, I can foresee if after the COVID-19, what I'm projecting, there would be many job eliminations with the companies. For instance, if I talk about the retail company, if we open after the Eid or after 1 or 2 months, so there would be a huge loss with the employer, or there would be a big loss as far as sales are concerned. So obviously, that will impact operating expenses as well. And if in case of job eliminations or pay cuts or job separations, there would be a huge change in a consumer behavior. Obviously, how can an individual fulfill his basic commodities even? And if you talk about the fashion apparel, cosmetics, that would be a two-for. So we should expect same kind of stuff like I was discussing about the 3 or 4 months back, that we cannot even forecast these kind of stuff that you're facing right now. That's airline operations or completely जो भी connectivity है among the countries, वो totally completed जो है उसमें ban है. They are not connected with the other countries. So that is very बहुत ही रेयर केस है ना. मेरे ख्याल है शायद कभी किसी ने प्रोजेक्ट भी नहीं किया होगा किस तरीके से कुछ हो जाएगा कि we will be facing these kind of stuff.
बिल्कुल.
तो ये बहुत ही that is And I will take few points from Hassan discussion that he was talking about the training. Obviously, ये एक employer का एक typical employee behavior है, especially in Pakistan. When we talk about the training and development projects, so there is no, what I believe, there is no consideration would be considered by the employer to invest on the training and development. तो मेरे ख्याल है जफर साहब कुछ इस तरह से होगा कि ट्रेनिंग कंसल्टेंट्स हैं उनके बिजनेस भी बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्ट हो रहे आफ्टर कोविड-19. So you have to plan accordingly. How would you maintain your operating expenses with the current your team members? Obviously, that will impact the business.
No, thank you, Rehan. And let me. I know we're out of time, so I'm just going to make some concluding remarks here. Yeah, no, thank you. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Also, it's Ramadan and people will have to leave early. I think that I'll just say a few words and then we can conclude this conversation. I think one, some of the questions that I've received in the Q&A, I'll try to respond to them. One, I think when we talk about learning and development, my view is the intent is really important, right? If companies that do learning and development because it's just a thing to do, it's just an HR thing, then it doesn't really stick. That's when you eliminate that right away when things are bad. I think Rehan, a good example is right when I did training for your organization, and the idea was it shouldn't be at bottoms up, it should be top down training, right? If the leadership actually believes in learning and growing and changing, then the rest of the organization will follow. That's my point on that question that I got on the chat window. The second question that I received was, what kind of organizations, what kind of companies will survive? Look, I'm seeing the numbers in terms of hopeful, and average is about 7 or 8 in terms of the attendees' response. I think that's pretty good, right? If you think about where we are, things are so gloomy and people are still feeling 7 or 8 in terms of, hey, we are hopeful that things will get better. I think the individuals, the organizations that will survive and thrive are, number one, that really do have a really strong purpose, something that they're doing that is somewhat essential to the society, right? If you're doing something where it is not an essential thing to the society, then your business will be at risk. So I think one of the things that companies can do is to really repurpose themselves. A lot of organizations, 3M is a good example, that makes a lot of products, paper products. They repurposed their manufacturing to make masks during COVID-19, right? There are General Motors, a manufacturing company that makes cars. They actually repurposed their manufacturing to make medical equipment for hospitals during COVID-19. So I think the purpose is really important. The third thing is really focus on having a long-term vision. Okay, we all talk about patience and persistence. That's exactly the two words that will help individuals and companies survive. If you are panicking because of short term, you're going to be in depression. But if you think long term, then you're going to actually find ways to solve and make improvements within yourself and within your organization, so that when we are out of this lockdown and things are looking good, that you can actually capitalize on the opportunities, because there will be new opportunities once things are back to normal. Okay, so with that, I will actually hand it back to our moderator, and I want to just thank one again, Rehan and Hassan, for being awesome panelists. And once again, Ghulam Mustafa, hats off to you, my friend, for having the guts to put this virtual conference together. Back to you, Rahil.
Pleasure you to be here, sir. Pleasure.
So thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, thank you very much.
तो चीजें श्वेब साहब से कह रहा था.
Sure. Go ahead. आपकी आवाज बहुत distorted थी, so I couldn't understand.
जी, बिकॉज देखें कि हमारा टाइम डिफरेंस है अभी वहाँ पर. आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज सहरी टाइम इन हिज रीजन. शहबाज साहब joined us from America. So we are very much thankful to him, and his session was wonderful, with full of knowledge. I don't know whether he will be able to continue staying with us or he will have to leave because time gap difference बहुत ज़्यादा है. So thank you sir, thank you very much Shehbaz sahab. Hope
You're
to
welcome.
work again with you.
Inshallah.
Over to you Shaina. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Kalam Saab. So now, thank you so much, Shehbaz Ali Beg and all the panel members of panel 2 for the wonderful discussion. Okay, now I would like to call and invite panel 3. I hope everyone can hear me now.
Yeah.
Kalam Saab, is my, hello?
It's good. We can hear you.
It's good? It's good? Okay. So I would like to invite panel 3 now to have a discussion on assessing and implementing the top retail tech priorities. And we have our moderator with us, Shahzad Ali, who's managing director at Port Business Solution, UAE. Plus, the panel members are Mujib Qayyum, managing director, VROSI, Hamid Hussain Khan, retail veteran, and Zarmina Khan, business unit head, Unity Foods Limited. We have Musa Rahman, who's Information Director, PayNet, UAE, and Tahir Malik, who's GM Operations, Gloria Jeans, Pakistan. Over to you, Shahzad Ali.
Thank you so much, Shania, and Assalamu alaikum to everyone. And kudos to Mr. Ghulam Mustafa for arranging such a beautiful and a very successful conference. सबसे पहले मैं अपना एक ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहूँगा. आई बिलीव मैंने अपने पैनल के ऊपर और कुछ देर पहले इन द बिगनिंग ज़फ़र उस्मानी साहब ने मुझसे पूछा था, तो मैंने कहा था कि basically I'm from Dubai. I've born and brought up here and got educated in West. Now, a very brief introduction about myself is that in my white blood cells, I have fashion retail running. In my red blood cells, I have technology running. So I'm a technologist, having almost like 25 years plus of experience in the fashion retail industry. There are more than 40 brands from US, Spain, Italy, and France, which I have brought as a franchise and have launched and operated in the Middle East region with some of the very large retailers. That is the very reason this particular conference is of great interest to me. While I was hearing the entire conversation, मुझे चंद चीज़ें interesting लगी इस हवाले से कि I see that most of my participants and panelists, they're all from Pakistan majority, and we were talking about the retail industry of Pakistan. तो एक चीज़ जो मैंने बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग देखी और मैं उसमें ऐड करना चाहूँगा वो ये है कि there is absolutely no doubt we are full of potential, we are full of talent, we have characters available. All what is required is we need to do benchmarking, not within ourselves. The benchmarking, if we try doing within our region, within Pakistan, it is not going to help. We have to come out of it. Still, Pakistan is way behind when it comes to technology. It is way behind when it comes to the retail phenomena. So we must organize more and more conferences like this, where people from the outer world can participate and share their experiences. So coming back, what I'm going to do right now is basically my panel topic is assessing and implementing the top retail technology priorities. Now, अब से जितने पहले पैनल थे, पैनल 1 और पैनल 2, उसमें बहुत खूबसूरत गुफ्तगू हुई और मोस्टली गुफ्तगू का जो हिसार था वो कोविड-19 और रिटेल के गिर्द घूम रहा था. अब मैं चाहूँगा कि हमारे जो रिस्पेक्टेड पैनलिस्ट हैं, मिस्टर ताहिर मलिक साहब, मिस्टर मुजीब क़य्यूम, मिस्टर मूसा, 2 of the panelists are not available right now, I believe. तो मैं ये गुजारिश करूँगा कि हमारी जो टॉपिक्स हैं, that is directly focusing on what are the technology priorities we have today, which are the most important to have it in the retail industry. So before I give the introduction about my panelists, there are very few industries who have got a disruption by emerging technologies, and one of them being retail. Now, from the growth of online sales to the mobile shopping experience, the industry has shifted permanently to accommodate the growing needs of digital consumer. Now, as technology keeps on emerging and redefining, the landscape is likely to continue shifting from retailers who are fighting for every visit to their physical or the digital store. So, similarly, recently there was there is the retail's largest conference, which is called National Retail Federation, that happens in New York. Samsung did a B2B survey, and they found out that majority of the B2B retailers are shifting their energies and investment from back operations all the way to the front operation. And the front operation is nothing but interacting with the customer, getting customer engaged. Now, in the past, even till today, whether it is outside Pakistan or within Pakistan, when you talk about the back operations, whether it is logistics, whether it is warehousing, whether it is procurement, we always had these infrastructures. I guess no retail business can start with these infrastructures. So these infrastructure has been always there. What was missing is the new change, the new era, which is the era of customer. Now, more than the product, customer matters, because it is the customer who makes your product a valuable product. It is the customer who makes your product a quality product. So with that, let me first introduce my panelist. So to begin with, I have Mr. Tahir Malik. He's GM Operations Gloria Jeans Coffees in Pakistan. He's currently holding the position of General Manager. Overall, he has an experience of almost 40 years in the local and overseas, specializing in HR management. He has been holding top positions in companies like Nexol Technologies, NASDAQ listed companies as Senior Vice President, Head of HR, and he has been even Head of HR in Dascon Engineering. He also has some experience in the hospitality industry, in the field of HR in Australia, some experience from the banking sector as well. Then we have with us a very respected panelist, Mr. Mujib Qayyum. He has over 30 years of IT experience, and currently he is heading Virozi from technical to business management and entrepreneurial leadership. He's managing the IT house from B2B and B2C perspective. And then we have with us our panelist from, I believe, from Dubai, Mr. Musa. Mr. Musa Rahman is a highly skilled, experienced business professional with almost 20 years of international experience, worked in Pakistan, UK, UAE, and Canada. He's currently working as information director for a company called Paynet, which works on the payment service solutions, whether it is mobile airtime, whether it is bill payments or digital services, and POS terminals. We had two other panelists. One was Ms. Zarmina and Mr. Hamid. Unfortunately, they are not present. So I would request to begin with, I would request Mr. Tahir Malik to come on the panel, and his topic is going to be the shifting of technology investment priority from the front-end stores to the, from the back-end to the front-end stores, which is nothing but digitizing the customer experience. And then we have the other two panelists who have, again, very amazing topic, which is directly hitting the needed technology of the time. So over to you, Mr. Tahir Malik, who will be talking about the shifting technology investment priority to the front end in the form of digitizing customer experience.
Thank you, Shazad. First of all, I would like to thank HR Legends for organizing such a important online conference. As the previous panelists and the moderators said, this is probably the first of the kind that has been organized in the recent the crisis, I would really say. To start with, we had about 116 participants, although it has dropped now because of the time difference and maybe. So I would like to start with saying good morning, good afternoon, assalamu alaikum to all who are attending this or are the participants of this conference. Now, coming back to you, Shazad, your question about shifting to technology and investment priority to front-end store operations. Actually, I would like to start with something on a positive note. yes, we are passing through a crisis. And that crisis, everyone is worried about. Everyone is worried about their jobs. Everyone is worried about the business. Everyone is worried about how things will move in days to come. And in my view and with my experience, things I would really say will improve in the days to come. That is a positive note which I can see, because being human beings, we tend to forget. And if talking about 2008, talking about 9/11, when things totally changed the world, COVID has changed, is going to change the world again. Things are going to be different, but we should not panic. I would really say I could see a bit of a panic going around all around the world. Everyone is saying or thinking that what are we going to do? How are we going to revive the business? Myself being attached to the restaurant industry, that for the time being, I can really say that at the moment in Pakistan, if I can say about Pakistan, and I think it's all over the world as well, retail food industry is badly affected. If we talk about Pakistan, we had a business turnover of about 1 trillion, and now there are about 3 million people attached to the industry. And it's not only that, all our tourism is somehow related to this industry. Now, how this industry was operating in the past, you know, we Pakistanis, we love to go to the restaurants, we love to go, and even late nights, we used to go out, sit in the restaurants. But with this COVID and this current situation, the things have totally changed. I was listening to a couple of questions that were being asked. What are the best things that the panelists or the participants have noticed? I would really say, yesterday I went to one of the restaurants which is under construction. And although it's not related to technology, I mean, it is the way people have started to think. It has changed the thinking of the people. You know what that particular restaurant did? Since there are going to be limitations whenever the government, or I should say the lockdown is over, people might be hesitant to come into the restaurant. So that gentleman, he innovated just a small table which they are going to put beside the car. And the people who are sitting in the car, they will have the luxury of having a sort of a dine-in facility while sitting in the car. So these are the things that has made a change in people's mindset. And they have started to think of innovative things, talking about new things that are going to bring in. For example, as far as we are concerned, we have instead of dine-in, we have online ordering and home deliveries. Now for that, the technology has come into play a role in that particular thing. And all our orders are being now, sorry, I would really say the restaurants are thinking of having an online solution, and that the customers can order online in that at the luxury of home, and they can have delivery which is safe, and people can enjoy the same thing which they used to come out and have a dine in the restaurants. So from that point of view, I would really say that with this recent crisis, and as a couple of other panelists said, whenever there are challenges, there are opportunities. People have got opportunities to think and change the way they used to do business. And especially in Pakistan, we are a bit hesitant, especially our businessmen are a bit hesitant in technology. They do not want to go for the new trends of technology, the new ways of ordering, the new ways of ordering online things. But now this opportunity has come up that they have started to think otherwise. They have started to invest in technology, and they are going to bring in new things that might help the business to come. But having
Mr.
said
Tahir,
that,
Sorry, I'm interrupting. I'm sorry for that.
Please.
Mr. Tahir Malik, because you are heading Gloria Jeans, we would love to hear your experience either from Gloria Jeans or from your peer businesses. So like you said that you have started the online ordering system. Now, this system,
Yes.
probably Gloria Jeans is an international brand, so they're doing it very nicely. Apart from the online ordering, what, in your opinion, what are the other digitalization experiences which we can give to our customers? I'll just give you one example. For example, in fashion retail stores, whether it be West or in UAE, it is not a new technology. It's quite there for almost like more than 5 years. We have smart mirrors. I'll just give you one example. So we have
Yes.
smart mirrors. Without you wearing the clothes, you can keep on changing the style. You can change the color. So in your opinion, now this could be, you know, a luxury technology, but what are the necessary technologies need of the time apart from the online ordering, which is required for digitalizing the customer experience?
Yes, Shahzad, that is a very important question. Definitely, as far as Glory Jean is concerned, or any other, since I have got experience in other industries as well, every industry is suffering. At the moment, if I talk about, I have been in construction industry, I have been in IT, everyone is talking about laying off, cutting salaries, things like that. But smart entrepreneurs or even the CEOs, they have started thinking in a positive way how to cash this particular, I would really say, challenge and bring in the new technologies. So, for example, in construction industry, as I said earlier, a lot of people are hesitant to bring in and or invest in technology. Construction industry was the same. They didn't had any ERP solution. Now they have started thinking about bringing in the ERP solutions, which is again an opportunity for the IT industry, for the ERP solution providers who can come in and provide solutions at an affordable rate, I would really say. And people are really thinking, I'm talking about my own company. Yes, we are thinking about not only bringing in the supply chain, HR solutions, ERP solutions to cater for each and every area of our business. So, replying to your question, yes, there are a number of areas where all companies are going to really invest in digitalization, bringing in innovation, and that is going to benefit in the long run for those companies.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Tahir. Do we have any questions from the panel for Mr. Tahir? Let me check if there are any questions from the chat. I believe not yet. Perhaps we can take the questions at the end of the session. Now, I would like to add further to what Mr. Tahir said. I was reading one latest report from Gartner. Now, Gartner has conducted a world global survey, and according to Gartner, by 2021, 77% of retailers are planning to have AI in place globally. 77% of retailers. And the most interesting part of the survey is, out of these 77% of retailers who are planning to go for AI, out of these 77%, 87% are indicating to have robotics for the warehouse, for their picking solution as the number one use case of robotics. So this is where the technology is heading to. Now, there was a time when we used to think about the technology as the contemporary technology. No more is the time for contemporary when it comes to technology. Technology has never been contemporary. Technology is always futuristic, and that futuristic technology you always implement in the present. You don't look for it in the future because it's so vibrant, it's so quickly adapting and changing. Now, I would request our next panelist, Mr. Majid Qayyum. His topic is going to be data analytics. I believe till now we have not spoken about data analytics, which is the most important aspect to lure more customers So over to you, Mr. Mujib Tayyub.
Thank you. Thank you, Shahzad.
You're welcome, Mr. Mujib.
Very interesting question. First of all, like every panelist does, I definitely would like to thank HR Legends for putting this big event together, bringing a lot of people around the globe virtually together, talking on common points, their common interests, and getting knowledge transferred to people to people. It's very interesting. I know that there have been very thoughtful topics earlier. The people who talked a lot about it. Good panelists. I missed part of it. I was not attending all of it. Coming back to on the question, briefly, Mr. Shahzad has already introduced me. My technology background from last 30 years from different companies. That includes corporate as well as retail industry. And currently, of course, I'm working or owning a company which partner with the US company on a B2B marketplace. And we are also working on a B2C project, an online app for the health industry. So that gives me some knowledge and experience that what the retail market data analytics can play a role in growing this business opportunity at this time. Any successful company always focus on increasing their customer base. That is their core. So long gone are the days when one size fits for all. And as already we were talking about on the strategy, and Shahzad talked about the mirror, customized fashion design mirror. You change the mirror image and you change the cloth and you see how it looks. Similarly, in every industry, the companies are working on competition-based pricing. They have to compete. And they also have to interacting with and building the relationships on one-to-one customer level. How would this be possible? While companies are sitting in their offices and their outlets are selling products, not interacting with the people, not collecting the data, not understanding the people's behavior, that won't be possible. That's where the data analytics power comes in. When you have invest in technology on the front end of your business, then you start collecting data. And these data analytics key elements will become a part to becoming a customer-centric business, which will definitely be meaningful, give you meaningful patterns on how the customers and the markets behave. And the data helps to ensure you effectively targeting customers, both new and existing, which will maximize your, of course, market penetration, your market share, your market value. But it is not as simple as it looks. Collecting the data is, of course, you enable yourself on the technology platform. You have smart mobile apps. You have web apps. You go onto the Food Panda, for example. They are always collecting the data from the people's eating habits, their buying behaviors, what they like, what certain people like for their lunches, what certain people like for their dinner, what type of coffee anybody like to order. So what they do when you go and open your account and do a shopping, go for a food hunting, they start giving you advertisements on the right to entice you that, okay, this is what you like, this is what you like. That's only based on the data they have collected. They have put in the artificial intelligence. They have the bots working behind, Autobots, giving the analysis, giving the statistics-based marketing techniques. So this future enterprise, I mean, this is something which was even before the COVID-19 era started, this pandemic fall. But what I see that moving forward, it's going to be even more important for the businesses to rely on that, to invest on it, and collect as much data as they could to have a smart analysis to increase their customer base, to be customer centric selling, specific to individuals' need and likes and dislikes. So the data driven insights will give you understanding your customers' needs. That's
yeah, Mr. Majib, I have a question here. Now, we have, in the beginning of this conference, we have spoken about some technologies like IP cameras for your in-store analytics. We have spoken about some sensors, Bluetooth sensors that can push the moment a customer walks into the store. Personalized promotions can be pushed to the customer. We have spoken about people counting traffic cameras. Now, all these technologies are, honestly speaking, they're not new. They are there in the market for the last 20 years. We have IoT devices. Now, I'm sure may not be on a very large scale, but at a very small scale, these technologies are already being adapted in Pakistan retail industry. But again, having these technologies alone is not enough. Like you rightly said, the data, we need to analyze the data that is being collected from these devices. Now, my question to you is, because you are in Pakistan, and I'm not, so that's why I'm a little curious, that if these technologies are there in the world for the last 20 years, I myself have implemented it, perhaps they're also available in Pakistan. What is the reason that the retailer is only implementing these technologies or thinking to implement these technologies and not thinking about the data? Because ultimately, you need to care about the data that is coming out of it. That data is going to tell you the behavior and how you have to react. So what is the reason? Is it the lack of awareness? Is it the lack of these kind of conferences where, all the retailers, they come on a single platform and they pinpoint a particular technology and start talking about it? What is the reason in your opinion?
I think if we talk about specific to Pakistan market, that's the lack of awareness on the retail enterprise level.
Okay.
The industry I work in, I call myself the enabler. IT industry is the enabler only. I mean, they can enable the other industry to take a benefit out of these tools and technologies, get all the analysis done. But of course, there is a cost associated to that. Now, convincing somebody to spending the money on technology front end specifically, and then putting big data concept, doing artificial intelligence, creating chatbots. They can sniff the data and decide, based on the parameters you pass into them, that what the particular industry you're dealing with, what are the people behaviors, and what are the customer needs. That is something need to be educated. That is something need to be spread in the market. But there are of course not only just the conferences. There are economic hubs. There are chambers. There are business forums. There are many platforms where people go and try to get the information. There are media and all that. But of course, it is all depending on when somebody need it. If somebody doesn't need it, they will not do it. And second thing is, if they are willing to spend the money on it, they have to realize the importance that putting a money in this bucket would rather give them a more benefit than putting a money somewhere else, hiring two more people and trying to see that if they can sell their product easily. So it's all about increasing your customer base, increasing your sale front, especially when you're not being able to reach out to your customer personally, or even your sales team can reach out to your customer personally because of this COVID-19 or this kind of crisis or situation. That's where you definitely would need some data analysis. My example, I'm working on a product which is going to actually give every individual an access to the pharmacy at their neighborhood sitting from home.
Okay.
For instance, as soon as they open the app, they will see the pharmacies in their neighborhoods. They can contact them. They can order them to the registered pharmacies. They can call them, or they can check if the medicine is available. And beyond that, they can also search a pharmacy in a certain radius area or outside of city or outside of country. That's the one thing. Now, what is the benefit to the pharmacies? What is the benefit to the business? The business is going to see that how many customers are ordering, what type of medicine, which pharmacy is getting which medicine, and which time of season or a month or a time or an age or a gender. And that gives them a power to actually replenish their warehouse, replenish their store to actually grow that marketplace, whether it is a life-saving medicine or otherwise, or other accessories of their store. This is something depends on the every individual entrepreneur that how they would like to take it.
Okay.
I hope I answered your question, right?
Definitely. Thank you so much. And Mr. Ghulam Mustafa, I'm sure you must have received a message from Mr. Majid that we have to go beyond the conferences. We have to participate also in the business hubs and in the chamber, because definitely, I'm very certain what Mr. Majid said. The reason where we are not adopting technologies in the retail industry of Pakistan, and the reason why we are not working on the data, is purely based on the awareness. And like Mr. Mujib said, we need to showcase the use cases and the returns of investment and the advantages to the business owners, and that cannot be done at their cost. That has to be done through conferences, exhibitions, and business hubs. I'm sure Mr. Ghulam Mustafa is hearing that. Mr. Majid, would you like to add something else, or shall we move on to our next panelist?
No, I just wanted to tell one more thing, that for a company is becoming a data centric, it requires a business strategy, and there's a process to it. I mean, it's not like that anybody is opt in certain app and says that, thinks that, okay, now they have a data, now they can do whatever they want. There are special tools, there are special people, there are special processes they need to adopt, and they need to then analyze the data according to that. Otherwise, it will become useless for them. They will not be able to take a benefit. Then they're going to say, oh, technology is not helping. Example is our Uber, Airbnb, Cream. In Pakistan, you can see that how they push the messages or the type of cars to their customers, or the residents of Airbnb or a Booking.com or a flights, just because they are analyzing the data. It's not just collecting the data; they are analyzing the data. Based on that, they are making artificial intelligence-based decisions. And that's going to be growing in the future. It's not something that's going to go away. Actually, it will become the necessity of each and every consumer-based business.
Very true. Very true. Thank you so much, Mr. Majid. I guess we're running short of the time, so I'll move on to our next panelist, Mr. Musa. And Mr. Musa is working as an information director for a company called Paynet in UAE. And the topic is very relevant to his field and expertise, which is payment gateways. Is it still a top technology which is required? Now, as per one of the reports that I've read from Deloitte, 60% of customers even today do not use retailers' app because they're afraid of their data. More to expand on this, over to you, Mr. Musa Rahman.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. Shehzad, Shahbaz, Tahir Saab, Mujib, Deep Saab, and thank you so much, Mustafa Saab, for inviting us. It's been a long day and a pretty long conference, but yet very exciting, very interesting as well. बहुत अच्छे सवाल थे, बहुत अच्छा डिस्कशन था, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. जफर साहब ने इंट्रोडक्शन बड़ी ज़बरदस्त की, बड़ी to the point. He hit everything, sir. Very nicely taken. I wasn't planning. I had a couple of meetings in the middle, but I thought, yeah, I'll go away and come back. But I got stuck to it, and eventually. And I can see Shahbaz's face as well. I think he's pretty much thinking the same thing. So, anyway, it's been very interesting, and I think everyone has almost covered the topic in entirety, from merchant perspective, from company perspective, from COVID perspective, and non-COVID perspective as well. Coming to my topic, is payment gateway necessary or the top technology for today? Yeah, we know financial technologies of fintechs or IT companies in today's time have evolved leaps and bounds. Nowadays, there were times when we used to have credit cards people can go and use on a store, and you used to swipe it, and then the magnet probably wouldn't work, and you used to, wipe it and then swipe it again and keep trying it. And then came chip and pin, which was enhanced security, let's call it. That you can put in your pin inside and then use on a retailer's shop physically. Here contactless IR, which tap and go. NFC technology is there.
NFCs.
So things have evolved in terms of using it, using technology at a retailer store. Yeah, देखिए अब जो time आ रहा है since the last couple of years, and it has grown at an exponential rate in the Middle East. Of course, it started from the US and all the European technology hubs, but it has come to GCC markets in UAE as well as in Pakistan. Yeah, it is now coming a time of digital wallets or e-wallets that you call it. Um, there are big names. Easy Paisa has been there in Pakistan for a long, long time. They have evolved with time. They have provided services and technology and features to far-flung areas. When we just talked about Kiji, what is the mobile phone or smartphone penetration in Pakistan, especially in Pakistan, which is a bit lesser and compared to other countries. UAE almost has 80% smartphone and internet penetration, approximate. I'm giving approximations. So yeah, when we talk about these, digital wallets are a necessity right now. So adding up to the current payment gateway technologies, digital wallet is also a top contender now. I just heard the news, I think it was yesterday, that Sada Pay has been granted pre-approval by State Bank of Pakistan to start operations. It is a wonderful news actually to hear that one more wallet, with digital wallet in its true sense, is going to start. They will offer, I think, remittances as well, bill payments as well. They will offer QR code payments to merchants as well. And they're issuing MasterCard, a physical card as well. We heard in March that Huawei Pay was launched in Pakistan together with Union Pay and National Bank. So these kind of initiatives are there, which is very recent now. They just started this year. But I think this is giving the initiative for other payment service companies to start on this format. Now to answer your second question, when you're talking about 60% of the customers are still afraid to use because of trust issues. Okay, when we talk about technology, the research started 30 years ago. Everyone probably has heard of TAM models, hota na, technology acceptance models given by Davis in '89 and all those. They all were studying the same thing. Aaj ki tarikh mein, when we talk about making a credit card payment on an online e-commerce website, imagine 30 years ago, this was the same situation using a computer or at home or at work. It was, people were switching from manually and physically doing work onto and writing something on a spreadsheet on a computer. So this was the same thing, and this will keep happening. Technologies will keep coming. So the thing that was studied at that time, when we look at history, they identified two major factors. They call it perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. Those major factors that they identified in terms of consumers. How do they tackle adoption of a new technology? With time, these TAM models got modified and revised, and now हमारे पास ये दो नए factors have evolved, which is called perceived risk and perceived trust, which is what we are talking now. Okay, and this is a major factor right now. I'm not talking about just Pakistan. In UAE, in Indonesia, and Malaysia, in the Southeast region, even in Nordic countries, वहाँ पे research हुई है, and they all came up to the same thing. Apart from everything else, the final element in terms of consumer is the trust and the risk factor that the consumer thinks before making a transaction online, or making even a credit. Nowadays, even making credit card transactions, even at a brick and mortar store as well. So these things I personally believe digital wallets is an answer to the security and risk factor associated. Look at Apple Pay. I mean, what does Apple Pay do, right? When you use Apple Pay, it is having a similar. I mean, not in US, but I mean, we use Apple Pay in UAE. It's not available in Pakistan as yet, but now you have Huawei Pay. So it just tokenizes your credit card numbers and details, right? So it doesn't passes on anything else to the merchant, to the bank. So this is a security factor added now, in terms of if you're afraid of the trust, if your security, your credit card number will get hacked, or people will start, it can be used in some fraud or any other activity. It is another way to stop that. A lot of I've seen. I mean, I've seen Daraz, being an e-commerce store, has his own Daraz wallet, which is good. Now Kareem, I think, is moved as a Kareem Pay, having a wallet inside its store. So these are the progresses that are being made, and I think this is what we need to do. And in terms of in terms of the IT sector, the PSPs, payment service providers, to actually evolve. The merchant needs to evolve, but then merchant, retailer जो होता है ना, they if you talk about a small grocery or जो एक छोटी सी करियाना की दुकान है, they are there to service the customer. Consumer जो उनके पास आ रहा है, the consumer comes to buy something and needs to pay. So the necessity of our time, consumer is also evolving, and I think merchant evolves with the consumer. Together, it's a two-way process. So merchant जो है, he wants more and more payment services, of course. The consumer wants to pay as easily as possible. So दोनों तरफ से, if their support is there, in terms of technology and in terms of regulatory affairs, so then only this whole ecosystem will evolve. The technology is coming. It's like I said, Sada Pay aaya hai, Huawei Pay hai, and there are other Easy Paisa hai, Jazz Cash hai, You Pay hai. But then the consumer का जो trust है, it will only increase when they feel that, जो उर्दू में कहते हैं ना, इनकी सुनवाई होगी. If something goes wrong, they can turn to some place and get the money back. Or, I mean, I remember, I'll give you a personal example. A couple of years back, when Souk.com was not acquired by Amazon. So at that time, Souk was going through an emerging phase in UAE. It was advertising every single roads of Dubai, and that it's an online store, and it used to advertise that if there is anything wrong, you can return with a 14 days return policy. I was amazed that when I bought a laptop, I remember, and when I opened the box, it was this huge thing, and I was scared. I mean, what is this? And I thought, that's a wrong deal. I should have bought something else. So I just emailed them, and I said, I want to return, and the reason you had to push, what is the reason? I just said that I don't like it, and that's it. And the next day, believe me, there was a delivery guy who comes in, who takes the box, and he says it's fine. And after 2 weeks, I get the amount, refunded into my bank account. So this is the kind of trust, and I became a lifelong customer of Souk, and in return, I'm also a customer of Amazon now, because I believe they have the same values, and they also do the same. They also project the same values. So the first, number one, the company itself, the merchant or the retailer himself, has to project trust, has to advertise, has to connect with the customer, has to project the trust, for the consumer to be able to trust him. Secondly, of course, there might be some companies or some retailers, due to one reason or the other, they have issues and they're not able to provide the goodwill that they're supposed to. The consumer should have an avenue or a place or a judiciary where they can go and vent out their anger, right, and get something in back, and they get the monies back in return. We have small claims court in UAE. You probably know that as well, right? And in US, of course, there is a small claims court as well. So in Pakistan, I'm not sure. I don't think there is one. I hope so. And if there is, then maybe I'm one of those. I'm part of that public which is not informed about it, and the information should be there. So, I mean, this is just to summarize that, the trust factor can only come in when, the merchant and the companies unite and the regulatory affairs unite. We all know regulatory affairs has to, government has to work towards digitalization. Very difficult word. Yeah, digitalization. Government has to work towards that. We have seen an example, next door neighbor in India, where when they had this monetization going along, last year, which prompted the digital wallets and the fruit wallas and all the tela wallas to start using QR codes for payments, and it has changed the landscape for India since the past year up till now. It was a triggering factor, I agree, but yeah, maybe COVID is the triggering factor for us in Pakistan. Why not? Maybe this will trigger the merchants to be more careful for the customers in terms of giving value, in terms of on the e-commerce stores to give more value. And it is also a triggering factor for the consumers to start using these wallets, these services to be able to get online purchases instead of getting stuck in traffic. Or maybe they don't have these, physical stores in their areas and they can use it online.
So Shehzad, sorry to interrupt Musa and you. So in the interest of time, so
I guess we are wrapping up. So
we're wrapping up. I spoke out anyway.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Musa. And just to wrap up our panel, the last note, which is very relevant to Mr. Musa's conversation, he said something very interesting in the beginning, that in fact these online payment gateways, rather they are more secure channels for the transaction. I just want to add something to it. I'm also a Microsoft partner, my organization, and perhaps some of you may know or some of you may not know, Microsoft ERP even has a new module called data protection module. I'm not saying it has a module called, fraud protection module, not fraud analysis module. It has a fraud protection module whereby your module of the ERP gets connected with the payment gateway. It gets integrated with your payment channels. It gets integrated with your banking, with your POS machines. So it actually prevents the fraud from happening by timely doing interventions, notifications, and alerts. So thank you so much, Mr. Musa, for the amazing insight on the payment gateway. And with that, I would like to end my panel discussion, which was more technical towards the technologies that are top rated. Once again, I would like to thank Mr. Majid Qayyum, Mr. Tahir Malik, and Mr. Musa. Lovely panel. Thank you so very much. And over to you, Mr. Mustafa and Shania.
Thank you very much, Shehzad Sab, for this wonderful panel moderation, and also all the members of your panel for sharing a lot of new ideas and wonderful discussion. So overall, it was a wonderful conference. Alhamdulillah, more than 150 people attended and joined today's conference on Zoom and on our YouTube channel as well. We learned many new things, many new strategies, and many new ideas to implement in retail sector, and also to take benefit of the opportunities which are there in this industry. So with this, I thank to all the panelists, all the moderators, all the conference hosts, and also the people who joined us on Zoom and YouTube, the attendees of the conference, and our media partners and HR Legends team, and the friends who actually gave the idea to do this conference, and they also supported in several ways. I mean, in terms of arranging the panel members and also the other technology arrangements as well. So I'm thankful to everyone, especially the HR Legends team who worked very hard in managing things and making things possible. So with this closing note, we are wrapping up the conference, and let's stay in touch on LinkedIn and also on social media platforms to discuss more about these things. So with this, let's wrap it up, and thanks to everyone, and Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much.
And just to save the time, I'm not taking questions, although there are lots of questions. So we have two options right now. It just came in my mind in the last moment, either to answer some of the questions or close the session, because everybody has to offer their Asr prayer, and the fasting opening time in Pakistan is very near. So just we can take like one or two questions. If somebody wants to ask any question from the panelists, you can type your question in the chat area or in the question and answer session section.
And while people are typing, Ghulam Mustafa, I just want to, on behalf of all of us, just thank you for, again, organizing this. It is amazing. After over 3 hours, we still have almost 65 people left, and you're not even serving food, and people are still showing up and attending the entire session. That means that they actually got something out of it. So kudos to you and your team.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shehbaz Sahab. A special thanks to the people, to the panel members who joined from the other countries, from USA, from UAE. Unfortunately, the guy who had to join us from Morocco, he has a death in his family of his auntie, so he couldn't join us. And we had one member from Tajikistan, and the Tajikistan government suddenly closed internet for like 3 or 4 hours. So there was some maintenance, unplanned maintenance, so they couldn't join. So these kind of things, it happens. But Alhamdulillah, overall, the response which I am seeing on the social media and also on YouTube channel and in the chat area of today's Zoom webinar, it is excellent. And the participation is very good and healthy. Overall, as I told you earlier, we touched to 160. And when I will close this webinar, Zoom will send me an automatic report. That will be the honest report, how many people actually attended.
Inshallah. And Mr. Mustafa, I have something to add here. For all the participants and the viewers, I would like to add here that the very first time I met Mr. Mustafa was last year in January, and that was the first time I participated in his very first regional conference, which was the ERP conference, the first ERP conference which was held in Pakistan. I remember very well, I was in Jordan, and late night he called me, and we had a conversation on the phone, and he invited me for this conference. And I specially traveled from Dubai to Lahore to attend this conference. I was really amazed. And today I'm attending his second conference. I must congratulate you from the bottom of my heart. And honestly, you're doing a very great job. There is nothing better than giving awareness to people and providing such a platform which is full of information. And I'm sure even the online conference takes a much more organization and effort, but not as much as a proper physical brick and mortar conference takes. So let's have more of these forums and conferences in the near future. At the end of the day, we have to educate Pakistan, and we have to empower it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And let me add over here, thank you, Shehzad, for reminding me. This is the first virtual conference of Pakistan, especially in retail sector. And although we have done in the last month, we did one seminar that was on the COVID effect on human psychology and how to control it. And we have also done 3 trainings so far, training webinars from HR Legends Forum. And now this is the first mega conference, you can say. And in this period, I can feel this is the first virtual conference in Pakistan done by any organization. So Alhamdulillah, again, the credit goes to us and to you all as well for your participation and for your support as well. So anybody else? Rehan, would you like to say something? Any other panel member would like to say
Mr.
something?
Zafar
Your
would like
mic
to
is
say
open for everyone. Yes, sir.
I would
Yes,
just
Zafar
like,
Saab. Yes, sir.
Sorry, Rehan, go ahead.
So sorry, please go ahead.
Zafar Saab, you go ahead, and then Mr. Rehan.
Okay, I just wanted to share with everyone. I met Mohammed Mustafa last year. He's one brave young man with great level of commitment. In my life, I've seen many people, many successful people in my career, but he is unique in the sense that he's got a great sense of commitment, dedication, and he somehow, maintains that stamina of efforts to make things successful. His ERP conference in Karachi was a tremendous success, and he has held different events. And I just want to, taking benefit of all the gentlemen present here, he's an inspiring example of what sheer hard work and commitment can do. And today again demonstrated such a phenomenal, global conference and on retail and on a very hot subject, a subject which is now actually its focus. There is but one of the things we are learning in the process is retailers now need to synergize and come up with a common strategy. And he's created that awareness with different, participants. And I'm very impressed. It was a very, very learning session. And I think the thoughts that we have collected today will give us an ability to define some crisp action plan for the future. And Mustafa, I'll be very happy to share with you, how you can let the participants leverage better out of today. Thank you so much, Mustafa.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। जी रेहान साहब, आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे थे? आपकी आवाज बहुत कम आ रही है।
Rehan, we are not able to hear you.
You're not audible.
अब आ रही है आपको मेरी आवाज?
हाँ, अब आ रही है। हाँ, अब आ रही है।
I would like to thank all the panelists who joined us today.
Again, your voice has gone down.
Ghulam Mustafa for organizing this event, and especially thanks to Shahbaz साहब, आपने हमें join किया सर in very odd times of US, तो आपके join करने का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
I can never say no to you, my friend.
Thank you so much of you, and that is all from my side.
जी रेहान साहब वो ट्रू इंस्पिरेशन है इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के पीछे, रिटेल कॉन्फ्रेंस के पीछे। he always motivated me, and he always, whenever I was feeling demotivated, ke ji retail is a different subject for me, so he was always there to support me, guide me, help me, inspire me, and share his ideas and knowledge and in selecting the topics. So I'm very, very much thankful to Rehan. I didn't want to mention it because कहीं वो corporate वो code of business conduct में ना चला जाए उसके लिए, लेकिन फिर भी I couldn't stop myself. Sorry Rehan. So ताहिर मलिक साहब जी मेरे एक्स बॉस हैं, यहाँ पे उनके सामने बोलना मेरे लिए तो मुमकिन नहीं है। मुजीब साहब भी मेरे एक्स बॉस रह चुके हैं नेटसोल में। तो ताहिर साहब, would you like to say something? कोई डांट वगैरह डांटना चाहे तो मैं हाजिर हूँ।
देखिए जी,
सारी ट्रेनिंग इन्हीं की है ताहिर साहब की, जो आज हम ये काम कर रहे हैं।
I am
मुजीब साहब।
so I would really say I'm so proud to have a shagird like you, who is mashallah doing so well, especially in the field that he now is in. Aapki contribution, Mustafa, has been acknowledged by Usmani Saab, Zafar Usmani Saab, true, I would really say, HR के जो गुरु हैं उन्होंने acknowledge किया. Shahbaz Ali Beg, I would really say this is the first time I've listened to him, and I'm really impressed the way he managed. Shahid Saab, Shahzad Saab, I would really say thank you, and all other Musa Rahman Saab, thank you very much. I would really say that we should have these sort of conferences again in times to come. थोड़ा सा start में I've got the credit कि मैंने मुस्तफा को थोड़ा सा एक just a telephonic conversation पे हल्का सा idea दिया था, not like what Shahbaz Ali Beg साहब did, लेकिन मैंने बड़ा छोटा सा idea दिया था, and he got that idea and he worked on it. Thank you, Mustafa.
साहब एक जमाने में कहते थे ना कि आदमी अपने शागिर्दों से पहचाना जाता है। So compliment to you.
Thank you, ji. Thank you. That is right. That's a compliment.
That's what I said. Compliments to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mustafa, are you there? Looks like we could drop Mustafa.
Yeah, I guess he got disconnected.
Sure.
Mr. Majid, would you like to say something overall for this
Not there
conference?
anymore. I gotta see to he come and join back. Of course. There you go. Yes.
Yeah, he's back.
There you
Mustafa, your microphone is on mute.
He's on mute and you were dropped off for a moment. Did you hear what Tahir Malik told you about? What about you?
No, I guess he
record, all right? He will replay it and.
Yeah, he's got the recording. He get it replayed.
Yeah, he was sharing your performance review.
I want to make sure.
Absolutely.
सर अब क्या फायदा है अब तो इंक्रीमेंट नहीं मिलना
नहीं
now you have to your increment.
Just on a lighter note, Mustafa joined me a long time ago as an internee, and I had the honor of grooming him to a certain extent. And after that, mashallah, he's now an icon in this particular area, and everyone recognizing him. And especially today, agar hum dekhen to throughout the world, I mean, it's sort of a global conference, or next time I think it will be a bigger one. So I acknowledge whatever Mustafa is doing, and hats off to him. Thank you.
I said, yeah, Mustafa is a very passionate boy. That's what I have seen him. I know he didn't work with me directly. I was not heading HR like you. I was heading the department. But his personality is so charming that he made the relationships, and respectfully actually to the seniors, such a way that it's been a long time. It's more than 10 years I've left NetSol even, but we're still in contact. And then he approached me to take an advisory role on the HR Legends. So that shows that he wanted to do something. And we have spent over 30 years of our life and career, and definitely this is the experience is something we have, which we can share, the guidance, the advice, the direction. And of course, these young people, they have the energy, they have the vision for the future. All they need is a support from the seniors, a push, and he's doing it. So I think a big hands to him for putting this big conference together. Wonderful, and I'm sure in moving forward, he's going to do a bit more than what we have done so far.
इंशाल्लाह मूसा साहब ने हमें फर्स्ट टाइम ज्वाइन किया जी, पहली दफा इनसे मुलाकात हुई, ऑल्दो कभी फेस टू फेस शहजाद साहब इनसे मुलाकात नहीं हो सकी. वी आर कनेक्टेड ऑन इंटरनेट, ऑन लिंक्डइन, एंड मुझे अच्छा लगा इनसे मिलकर, इनसे बातचीत करके. सो आई थॉट के ये जो पाकिस्तान में पेमेंट के बड़े इश्यूज हैं जी, इसके लिए कोई सोल्यूशन लाएं पाकिस्तान में, come up with some kind of very fruitful and easy strategy. स्ट्रेटजीज तो बहुत सारी होती हैं, इजी स्ट्रेटजीज, जिस तरह ये उस्मानी साहब चीजें इजी कर देते हैं एचआर के लोगों के लिए, बिजनेस प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए. सो मे बी वी नीड टू वर्क ऑन सम पेमेंट गेटवेज. जवाद साहब उसमें फाइनेंशियल एस्पेक्ट से उसमें कुछ गाइडलाइंस दे सकते हैं. सो वी आर लाइक अ टीम नाउ, लाइक अ फैमिली. सो मे बी वी कैन कम अप इन फ्यूचर विद सम मोर स्ट्रेटजीज, मोर आइडियाज which we can improve on, and inshallah with support of everyone we will make this event much better, much bigger in future, inshallah.
I agree, Mustafa साहब, आपके साथ तो I think I've never had the chance to meet. हम गाए बगाए मैं आपकी LinkedIn पे I get the news, आपकी pictures आती रहती थी, so I knew you by LinkedIn. So जब आपने भेजा तो I said why not. And you're right कि यार पाकिस्तान में there is a lot to be done. There has been a lot of achievement, improvement है, बहुत हुई है. I mean, जो entrepreneurship है, it's gone way beyond than expected. जो अब आजकल के लड़के हैं, when they're graduating or even when they do the small certifications, उन्होंने अपनी Upwork में दुकान खोली हुई है. So which is very good, which is very improvement. And Pioneer जब से आया है and all the other gateways जब से आए हैं, people have actually hooked to it. But still, keeping in mind जो हमारी population है, there is so much that can be done. I'll give you a short example. We had a small survey in I'll take a few seconds more. कुछ अरसे एक साल पहले we had a survey in UAE. हम retailers के पास गए and we spoke with them कि यार we are providing you a web portal solution for bill payments as a gateway, but why it's not being used so much? So we got a feedback. A majority of them do not have that much of internet or data connectivity on their phones, or a lot of them don't have those smartphones. उनके जो sales के लड़के हैं in the shops, counter पे के लड़के हैं, they don't have all those. So then we came up with a solution that we integrated with WhatsApp and provided the whole store in a WhatsApp chat session, which is available, by the way. I'll type it down. It's called paybot.one. And you can just register with your name. You can top up your wallet inside WhatsApp with any credit card. Currently, we are doing GCC, but we have integrated with Apple Pay as well. So, which is something, you know, you work when you connect with your retailers, you engage with them, you get to know, when you get your feedback from them, that is the time when you start evolving. That is the time when you start, you know, looking into other avenues, what else can be done in terms of, you know, advancement. So बिल्कुल आप सही कह रहे हैं मुस्तफा साहब. We need to sit maybe again, hopefully inshallah, with organizers and organizers like you. हम सबको जमा करने का काम बड़ा अच्छा किया आपने. And inshallah, after COVID also, hopefully a physical panel will be there as well. Otherwise, virtual is always there.
Inshallah, inshallah. So again, thanks and special thanks to Shehbaz Ali Beg साहब, चूँकि उनका टाइम बहुत odd था. What time is it there now, Shehbaz sir?
अब तो normal हो गया. Now it's now 8 o'clock. उस वक्त 5 o'clock थे. हाँ, जब but yeah, I'm an early bird, so that worked out very well for me. And again, you know, personally speaking, you know, obviously I have strong ties with Pakistan. I miss Pakistan. My parents are there. So constantly I worry about it. Constantly, every single day I wake up, it's a ritual for the last 10 years. I have my cup of coffee and I read Pakistan news. That's the way I start my day. So I think just having this opportunity to share and learn from others is actually something that at least, you know, it kind of brings you back home. So thanks for giving me that opportunity to interact with others. Otherwise, you're, you know, in a lockdown situation, sitting isolated in your house these days. I think one other thing I just wanted to say, Musa said something that I really liked. You know, we are talking so much about digitization. One thing that I obviously have dealt with companies in Pakistan, and I believe that if you have companies that you trust, right, and the companies actually trust their customers, then when you say, okay, I'm going to do something innovative and I'm going to go online, customers will say, you know what, I'll give it a try. I think I'll be okay. But if it's a two-way street, you know, we are talking about Amazon. People don't like Amazon because of online and e-commerce. They like it because of their customer service. I've been to their customer service centers, and really one of the things that they focus on is, one, trust the customer. So if the customer says, hey, you delivered a product and it's not working, I want to return it, it should be hassle-free return. So when you give customer that kind of peace of mind, you know what, when then you give them a different channel like e-commerce, they will accept that channel. And that, I think that's what sometimes we have to focus on in Pakistan, is just building that trust. And now corruption is a lot less. So hopefully the trust level will go up, and that's when we'll see more innovation.
Inshallah. So
thank you,
with
Ji.
this, thank you, Shehbaz. And तो बहुत शुक्रिया जी आप सब लोगों का. आप चूँकि सबने नमाज भी पढ़नी है, सबकी बाकी कमिटमेंट्स भी हैं, तो हम लोग रैप अप करते हैं. ओके जी.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
everyone.
Thanks a lot. Allah Hafiz.
Bye everyone.
Allah Hafiz. Allah
Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye everyone.
Thank you, Shehbaz. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah Hafiz.
Great job.
थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू वेरी मच शहबाज सर. आपके साथ कोई और सेशन करते हैं इंशाल्लाह टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर किसी दिन.
Inshallah.
We can discuss on things.
Bilkul. Let's talk soon.
जी
All right.
इंशाल्लाह.
Wonderful work. All right. Allah
Thank you
Hafiz.
sir. Allah Hafiz.